Chapter 710. When the 7 ships carrying tens of thousands of green scarf bandits appeared above the 100 Medicine sect, all the cultivators from the ancient Medicine Kingdom revealed expressions of despair. As the cyan scarf bandits on one of the star boats flew towards the Myrtle Lake, despair appeared on the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect's face. On the main mountain of the 100 Medicine sect, there was a protective formation. It was a high-grade immortal void realm formation, and the source of its power was hidden under the Crepe Myrtle Pond in the forbidden area of the back mountain. The other party attacked the Crepe Myrtle Pond as soon as they arrived. It was obvious that they were accompanied by experts who were proficient in formations and had seen through the formation of 100 Medicine sect. It's over. Old Ancestor Qian isn't here and the grand formation source has been seen through. Our 100 Medicine sect is going to be annihilated soon. The sect master of the 100 Medicinal Herbs sect let out a long sigh. Suddenly, his eyes widened and he saw Ningfan's figure flashing and dashing towards the purple myrtle pond. His eyes were like an eternally unmelting ice. His traveling light seemed to be much faster than old Ancestor Qian, who was at the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Could it be that this senior's cultivation base is above the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? Our 100 Medicine sect is saved. The cultivators of the 100 Medicine sect were crying tears of joy. The cultivators from the ancient Medicine Kingdom didn't know that the old man had disappeared, but after seeing someone attack the green scarf bandits, and it was an extremely strong one at that, they naturally shed tears of joy. Is there still hope for the ancient Medicine Kingdom? In the blink of an eye, Ningfan was already standing in midair above the purple myrtle pond. He scanned the area below with his spirit sense, and saw that Ouyang was inside a thatched cottage at the edge of the pond. As soon as he saw Ouyang condition, Ningfan's eyes darkened. Ouyang was indeed not dead, but how did she become like this? According to his plan, there shouldn't have been any mistakes, so why was he in a coma for 7 years? Why did Ouyang end up like this? Puzzled, still puzzled, Ningfan's heart was filled with bewilderment. Everything went according to plan during the battle that day. The steel of sun and moon and the sword ancestor's sword chi forcefully killed one of the life immortals. Then he took the opportunity to force the second life immortal away and save Wei Qi. As long as he could hold on for 10 breaths, Wei Qi would be able to slightly recover his magical power and fight against a high-level life immortal, right? At that time, Ningfan's magic power was already depleted. He was unable to escape with Ouyang and Wei Qi using the Black Devil escaping art. He did not take them into the Yuanyao realm, because ordinary small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasures could not defend against the attacks of life immortals. In the beginning, he had hidden Ouyang in the Yuanyao world. That was why the 2 life immortals did not know that he possessed a small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure. After releasing Ouyang, they already knew that even if they kept Ouyang away, the small Kiliacosm would still be easily destroyed by a life immortal. At that time, he had already entered the profound Een world once. Naturally, he would not be able to enter again within the next 3 days. It would take a lot of time to set up a corner of the formation pattern. Moreover, the formation pattern involved too many things. At that time, he was still in Shaozi Starfield. If he had set up the formation pattern and used the formation position to kill the life immortal guarding Wei Qi, it would be extremely easy. However, the horrifying fluctuation of the formation pattern would definitely attract countless life immortals to spy on it. Therefore, Ningfan did not plan to use the formation marks from the very beginning. It was naturally impossible to have the time to set up the formation patterns when the battle was at its climax. Therefore, the only way to stop a life immortal for 10 breaths was to use the army disintegration technique. The weapon dissolution would trigger the devouring of the devil sense. However, if it was just 10 breaths of time, Ningfan believed that Ouyang would have a way to help him suppress the devil sense. When he undid it, he only tore a small crack on the seal of the underworld wheel and drew out a strand of demonic thoughts. Under that level of devil sense, it would not be a big deal even if he temporarily lost his sanity. After all, even when Ningfan was completely immersed in the devil sense, he could still slightly control the devil sense and fight against the old ancestor of ancient Zong. As long as the weapon dissolution was eroded by a small amount of devil sense for 10 breaths, he would be able to stop a life immortal. Ning Fan did not expect himself to kill a life immortal. Even if the weapon dissolution technique was fully activated, it would only be comparable to a life immortal. Now that he had drawn out a small amount of devil sense, he was not a match for a life immortal at all. He just wanted to buy himself 10 breaths of time. As long as he could buy himself 10 breaths of time, Wuxia would be able to recover 10% of his magic power. At that time, Wuxia could easily kill a life immortal, and he could also easily knock out Ning Fan, who had lost his sanity. With Ouyang wealth, it should not be difficult for her to help him seal a small amount of devil sense. He would probably wake up after being unconscious for 3 to 5 days. Ning Fan would never fall unconscious in front of outsiders. However, he trusted Ouyang. That was why he dared to use the weapon dissolution technique recklessly. Everything was going according to plan. The worst-case scenario was that the devil sense would completely erupt and he would return to his original state. How was it possible for him to fall unconscious for 7 years? The amount of body-devouring devil sense he had was limited. It was impossible for him to suffer such a heavy injury. Something unexpected must have happened during his weapon dissolution technique that caused Ouyang to suffer such an unforeseen event, causing her to fall unconscious for 7 years. Did I miss something on that day? Speaking of which, since Ouyang is here, where is Wuxia? Ning Fan looked inside his body and found that the crack on the seal of his Ming wheel was terrifyingly huge. Someone deliberately tore the crack. Who was it? The crack was closed by a 5-colored force. Was that force Ouyang's power? I don't understand. I don't understand. What did I miss that day? Why was the crack torn by someone? Who did it? Why did Ouyang send me to the ancient star region? Where is Wuxia? Wasn't he saved by me? Why didn't he protect Ouyang along the way? Are you the helper that Qian Kaiyan of the 100 Medicine sect hired? According to the information that I have gathered, there is no 7th heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivator in the 100 Medicine sect. Are you trying to avenge the 100 Medicine sect? Where is that old man Qian Kaiyan? Ask him to come out and talk to our big brother. He is a 7th revolution pill master. He is qualified, but you are not. All of the green scarf bandits leaped down from the ship and stood in midair, surrounding Ning Fan. The person who spoke just now was a burly man at the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. His head was wrapped in a green scarf and he had leopard-like eyes and a beard. He was the 2nd leader of the green scarf bandits. In his eyes, Ning Fan was just a 7th break realm cultivator, who was not his match. It was not like he had never killed a 7th break realm cultivator before. He had killed countless of them during the green scarf bandits' journey in the star region. It was absolutely impossible for Ning Fan to protect the 100 Medicine sect alone. The reason why he did not immediately give the order to attack Ning Fan was because he wanted to meet the low-grade 7th revolution pill master of the 100 Medicine sect, Qian Kaiyan. The green scarf bandits had everything. The only thing they lacked was a 7th revolution pill master and above. As soon as the leader of the green scarf bandits entered the hidden sea star, he had already heard of Qian Kaiyan's name. Qian Kaiyan's pill refinement technique was brilliant. His pill healing technique was even more brilliant. Many pill refinement masters were proficient in pill refinement techniques and could concoct high-grade pills. However, they were not good at healing and prolonging the life of others. The so-called pill healing technique was to know countless secret techniques of the Tao of pills. Even if they did not have any pills in their hands, they could still use the power of their medicine soul to save others' lives. After the green scarf bandits entered the ancient medicine kingdom, they did not kill wantonly like before. They were giving Qian Kaiyan face. They wanted to subdue Qian Kaiyan and make him their ship's doctor. The reason why they pretended to attack the Purple Myrtle Pond was also to scare Qian Kaiyan and force him to show himself. However, they did not expect that the one who was forced to show himself was not Qian Kaiyan, but Ning Fan. The 2nd leader did not put Ning Fan in his eyes. However, he still gave Ning Fan some face by not attacking him immediately. He was still waiting for Qian Kaiyan to show himself. This pill doctor was very powerful. Their boss had told them to get him. The Qian Kaiyan that you guys are looking for is not in the 100 Medicine sect. In the sect, I am the only Void Fragmentation Realm expert who can fight you. Get out of the ancient medicine kingdom within 3 breaths and I can spare your lives. Ningfan said with an expressionless face. As soon as he said that, all the green scarf bandits on the 7 ships fell into a dead silence. Then, they burst into deafening laughter. This man is really arrogant. Does he think that he can fight against the 70,000-strong army of our green scarf bandits alone? So what if he's at the 7th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation realm? I wonder how many rogue immortals have died in the hands of our green scarf bandits. This man is extremely arrogant. There's no need to hold back. Just kill him. After we kill this man and slaughter the entire ancient medicine kingdom, I don't believe that Qian Kaiyan won't show himself. When the time comes, we will capture him, plant a mental seal on him and force him to be our ship's doctor. Since he doesn't want to accept a toast, let's punish him. Amidst the laughter from all directions, countless green scarf bandits rushed down the ship like wolves and tigers towards Ningfan. All of these green scarf bandits were experts above the Void Refinement realm. It was no wonder that they could travel in the universe. 70,000 Void Refinement realm experts, 200 Void Fragmentation realm experts and 7 leaders. It was said that the 2nd to the 7th leaders were at the 8th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation realm. Only the 1st leader was a rogue immortal. Facing this group of green scarf bandits that were as ferocious as wolves and tigers, even a rogue immortal could only hope to escape. Star Sacrifice Arrow. Understood. Behind the countless green scarf bandits, a rogue immortal with a face full of scars gave an order. Then, all 70,000 green scarf bandits, regardless of their strength, drew a green bow and shot spiritual arrows at Ningfan. 70,000 Void Refinement Realm arrow lights and 200 Void Fragmentation Realm arrow lights were enough to kill even a rogue immortal. The light of the arrow lights lit up the dark starry sky. Each of the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom was shocked. Are these the well-trained bandits of the ancient era? They were one of the 72 bandit groups in the ancient era star region. Even though they did not have a life immortal guarding them, even an early mortal profound realm life immortal would not dare to attack them. The green scarf bandits. Sigh. Fortunately, old ancestor Qian has left. Even if he is here, what can he do? I didn't expect these green scarf bandits to be so strong. Other than life immortal realm experts, who else can fight against them? What a pity. Our ancient medicine kingdom is really going to perish. There's one more thing that we regret. We still don't know this senior's name. He risked his life for our ancient medicine kingdom, but we don't even know his name. Each of the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom sighed. None of them thought that Ningfan could protect himself from the arrows that filled the sky. Even if Ningfan's cultivation base was at the 7th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation realm, it was impossible for him to survive. Even if he was a rogue immortal, it was impossible for him to survive. Countless old monsters closed their eyes, bowing their heads and waiting for their deaths. Some beautiful female cultivators' faces were drained of blood, and they let out a sorrowful smile. If the ancient medicine kingdom falls, they would probably become the cauldrons of others. What? How is this possible? All of a sudden, an exclamation of disbelief came from one of the children's mouth. At the next moment, all the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom were shocked. The 70,000 green scarf bandits were staring at Ningfan in disbelief. Ningfan did not dodge or evade the 70,000 arrows that were aimed at him. He allowed the arrows to hit his body, but he was not harmed at all. Instead, the sound of metal colliding could be heard. The attacks from those who were below the rogue immortal realm could not even break the defense of Ningfan's physical body. Ningfan's physical body could directly defend against all attacks below the rogue immortal realm. He had the physical body of a 3rd transformation corpse devil. After completing the 3rd transformation of the demonic corpse, he obtained 2 great benefits. Firstly, his lifespan was limitless. Secondly, his physical defense was comparable to a 9th sky of Nirvana realm physique cultivator. He could ignore all attacks under the level of an individual immortal. There were 70,000 green scarf bandits and 200 void fragmentation realm experts. None of the 6 leaders could hurt Ningfan. The only one who could slightly break through Ning Fan's physical defense was the bandit leader. Die. Sword light flashed in Ning Fan's eyes. His black sword sense spread wildly in the vast sky, mincing each of the Void Refinement Realm cultivators into minced meat. In the blink of an eye, all 70,000 Void Refinement Realm bandits were killed. There were only 200 plus Void Fragmentation Realm bandits left. What a powerful sword sense. It can even kill Void Refinement Realm experts in an instant. Each of the Void Fragmentation Realm experts sucked in a cold breath. They could not help but take half a step back. The 200 plus Void Fragmentation Realm experts actually felt suffocated when facing Ning Fan alone. The sense of pressure that Ning Fan gave them was just too strong. It was comparable to that of a life-immortal realm expert. They had been killing for a long time. Thus, they instinctively began to fear Ning Fan. All of you stand down. Leave this person to me. The bandit leader's expression was extremely solemn. He walked out of the crowd and walked towards Ning Fan step by step. Every time he took a step forward, his aura force would increase a little. Every time he took a step forward, the blood-red light of the ring-shaped machete in his hand would become a little denser. He was accumulating his blade force. He was going to kill Ning Fan with a shadowless slash when his blade force was at its strongest. Ning Fan looked at the bandit leader expressionlessly from the beginning to the end. Finally, the bandit leader's blade force had reached its peak. The general situation of the entire Hidden Sea Star was disrupted by him alone. This ray of blade light was enough to instantly kill an ordinary rogue immortal. The bandit leader was very confident that he could kill Ning Fan with a single slash. Die. With a chi sound, the bandit leader's figure disappeared. A green blade light that connected the heavens and the earth slashed down at Ning Fan's head at a horrifying speed. If this slash hits Ning Fan, he would definitely die. The residual force of the blade light would also leave a huge crack on the surface of the Hidden Sea Star. This slash had nearly exhausted all of the bandit leader's magic power. It was his trump card. This young man must die. He shouldn't have given me the chance to gather my blade force. The bandit leader laughed heartily and ordered arrogantly. The moment this young man dies will be the moment the ancient medicine kingdom is slaughtered. Boom! A loud explosion suddenly resounded, causing the bandit leader's smile to freeze on his face. Ning Fan slowly raised his palm. His palm was covered with black starlight, and he directly pressed it on the blade light above his head. The blade light, which was powerful enough to kill an ordinary rogue immortal, was easily held in Ning Fan's hand. That blade light could not break Ning Fan's palm at all. The power of the blade light was rapidly weakening. Ning Fan suddenly took a step forward and clenched his fist. The green blade light immediately shattered into countless light spots and disappeared shattered. The blade light was shattered. The strongest ability of the leader of the Green Scarf Bandit was easily blocked by Ning Fan with just a lift of his hand. It's impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Who exactly are you? Only an old monster at the life-immortal realm can withstand my blade light so calmly. Since you can withstand my blade light so easily, you definitely can't be a nobody. Since when did someone like you appear in the ancient star region? The bandit leader's expression changed drastically. Each of the Void Fragmentation Realm bandits looked at Ning Fan in disbelief. There is no need to explain to a bunch of dead people. Ning Fan took a step forward and turned into black robes. His body suddenly shattered into countless black butterflies. Black Tempest's soul-splitting technique. After obtaining the power of the 5-colored medicine soul, Ning Fan realized that his control of magic power was unprecedentedly precise. The power of the Black Tempest soul-splitting technique had also greatly improved. The overwhelming number of black butterflies drowned the 200 Void Fragmentation Realm bandits, including the bandit leader. Miserable screams came from the group of butterflies. There was a Void Fragmentation Realm bandit dying every second. 10 breaths later, the vast sky was filled with dead silence. Only the 7 starships that were floating in the sky were left. There was not a single living person on the ships. Countless blood rain, minced meat, storage pouches and Dao fruits fell to the ground. Ning Fan, however, did not have the mood to pick them up. There were still many treasures on the 7 ships. They were obtained by the Green Scarf Bandits along the way. Ning Fan was not in the mood to look at them. Where is the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect? Ning Fan turned back into his white robes and asked indifferently. Chapter 711. Where's the sect master of the 100 Medicine Sect? Ning Fan turned back into his white robes and asked indifferently. His voice was not loud, but it gave off a bone-piercing chill. After all, he had just slaughtered the entire 70,000 green scarf bandits. This junior is here. May I know what instructions does senior have for me? The sect master took a step forward in fear and bowed with his fists cupped. Refine the flesh and blood essence of the 70,000 green scarf bandits. Sort out all the spoils and pass them to me. Yes. I want to enter the crepe myrtle pond. I don't want anyone to disturb me for the time being. Yes. Ning Fan was not in the mood to clean up the battlefield himself. He landed on the bank of the pond and walked towards the thatched cottage step by step. Ning Fan stopped outside the cottage but did not push the door open. He could feel that his arrival had caused the woman inside to feel rather uneasy. Can I come in? No. Ouyang bit her lips and said. Is that so? What exactly happened that day? Did something happen that I missed? Why did you become like this? Ning Fan sighed softly and pushed the door open. Inside the cottage, a girl in green robes was sitting with her back facing the door. When she felt Ning Fan's arrival, her shoulders trembled slightly. A few strands of her black hair that was once as black as ink had turned white. Her skin that used to be as smooth as silk was now wrinkled in many places. She did not dare to turn her head to look at Ning Fan. The death chi on her body was very heavy. It was a sign that her lifespan was coming to an end. Currently, Ouyang lifespan was coming to an end. She looked like an old woman with one foot in the grave. Don't look. Ouyang begged helplessly. Ning Fan did not say much. He just quietly walked behind Ouyang and placed his palm on her shoulder. There was no softness as he expected. There was only a skinny feeling. Old as an old woman. Wei Qi isn't here. Ning Fan muttered to himself. Ouyang remained silent. Her eyes were filled with unerasable pain. He betrayed us, didn't he? No, he didn't. He was controlled by the centrifugal pill of the pill sect. He didn't do it on purpose. Ouyang calmed herself down and explained to Ning Fan seriously. As soon as she turned around, she immediately realized that her current hideous appearance was completely exposed to Ning Fan. She hurriedly covered her face with both of her hands. 10 breaths. I managed to hold on for 10 breaths, but no strong reinforcements came. Instead, I was attacked from both sides. Is that so? Was he the one who tore open the devil sense seal in my body? Tell me, what happened that day, Miss Nguyen? Ning Fan gently squatted down and looked at Ouyang wrinkled face. There was not a single trace of disgust on his face. Instead, there was always a gentle smile on his face. Ouyang was too ashamed to show her face. She wanted to avoid Ning Fan's gaze and get up to escape, but Ning Fan grabbed her arm and gently pressed her back onto the chair. Sit properly, hold this ugly thing, and tell me what happened that day. Ning Fan ordered in a domineering manner. With a wave of his hand, a fur ball appeared in his hand, and he threw it into Ouyang bosom. Ouyang rolled her eyes at Ning Fan and said discontentedly, It's not ugly. It's your daughter, Ning Xiaoqiu. Why do I hear this little fellow calling you Nguyen's mother? I'm the father, and you're the mother? Is this what you want to express? Ning Fan teased. No, it's not. It's just calling me randomly. I have never taught it to call me that. Ouyang patted Furball's small buttocks angrily. She really did not teach it to call me that way. It was Furball who figured it out on its own. The true blood spirit selection was so smart. If the man was the father, wouldn't the woman be the mother? Furball let out a low howl, expressing that it felt wronged for being beaten. After being messed up by Ning Fan and this little fellow, Ouyang could not help but be in a good mood. For a moment, she actually forgot about her appearance. What exactly happened that day? Your lifespan is short. What's going on? Is there anything I can help you with? You can't help me. Really. Don't worry. Don't blame yourself. I originally only have 2,000 years of lifespan left. Because I saved you, I have 20 years left. Actually, to me, whether it's 2,000 years or 20 years, it really doesn't make a difference. In the end, I can't escape death, can I? Ouyang looked at Ningfan quietly with a hint of a smile in her eyes. It was very warm, just like the rising sun. Have you heard of the innate medicinal body? Those who are born with the innate medicinal body will be born with a medicine soul. They are natural fifth revolution pill masters. This is not luck, but a curse. No one with the innate medicinal body can live more than 10,000 years. 10,000 years is the limit of the lifespan of those who are born with the innate medicinal body. Those who are born with the innate medicinal body will never be able to become an immortal in this life, and will never have the possibility of immortality. Master knew that I wouldn't live for long. So even though he was a little stingy, he still gave me a lot of money, hoping that I would live a happy life in my remaining years. Master has given me a lot of protective treasures, but I have never worn them. Do you know why? Because I want to die. I want to die in the hands of unfamiliar devils and bandits. That way, Master won't have to go to the true immortal forbidden lands again and again in order to find the item that can save me. There were a few times when Master almost died in those true immortal forbidden lands. Do you know how much I blame myself? He gave me the 9 revolution death-chasing pill and planted an order in me. He forbade me to commit suicide and forbade anyone to kill me. He must save me. I am very grateful, but more than that, I blame myself. For some people, the longer they live, the more burdens they will bring to their loved ones. I really don't want to live anymore. Unfortunately, I met you. You let me know that it's really interesting to live. However, I have harmed you in the end. If it wasn't because I begged you to help me save someone, you wouldn't have been ambushed by 7th Uncle. The devil sense wouldn't have invaded your body, and you wouldn't have nearly lost your life. My life is the same as harming others and myself. It was me who separated the origin of the medicine soul in my body to help you seal the gap of the devil sense. It's because I was the one who caused that gap. I have lived a very, very tiring life for the past 8,000 years. I have lived enough of it. I want to spend the remaining 20 years in peace. I don't want to harm anyone. I don't want to blame myself and feel guilty anymore. I don't want to owe anyone anything. Ouyang was supposed to tell him the truth of that day, but she could not help but tell him the things that had been bothering her for many years. She was the disciple of the sect master of the medicine sect. It would be easy for her to become an immortal. However, she couldn't achieve immortality. She was the owner of the legendary 5-colored medicine soul. She was a rare pill refinement genius that was hard to find even in 100 generations. However, she had no chance to reach the pinnacle of the Tao of Pill. Do you still remember that promissory note? That's not a promissory note. It's a bet. When I was still very young, your master and my master met each other in a gambling house on a certain cultivation planet. Both of them made a bet with 1 billion Tao crystals. Your master said that he would certainly accept a disciple in the future who could cure me. I didn't want you to be troubled because of my body. That's why I wanted to take back the promissory note. However, you misunderstood something and tore it apart. At that time, I was thinking that your master must not have told you the true meaning of the promissory note. However, you still tore it apart because you were worried that I would be troubled. I'm really very touched. No one can save me. I don't need anyone to save me either. I'm just very, very tired. Ouyang fell asleep due to exhaustion. Her body tilted slightly to one side, and she fell into Ningfan's arms. Faint breathing sounds could be heard. She still did not tell Ningfan the truth of that day. However, Ningfan had already understood the reason why she was in a coma for 7 years from her words. The reason was Wei Qi's betrayal. When Wei Qi was captured, Ningfan initially guessed that a traitor of the medicine sect had lured him out of the Shaozi Star. He had never thought that Wei Qi was actually controlled by the centrifugal pill of the pill sect, and he left the Shaozi Star on his own. The medicinal effect of the centrifugal pill was to control a person without anyone knowing. The medicinal effect of the centrifugal pill would last for a lifetime. Perhaps even Wei Qi himself did not know that he had been drugged by someone. When Ningfan used the weapon disintegration style to block 10 breaths of the life immortal realm cultivator, what awaited him was Wei Qi's attack on his abdomen and back. I really missed it. Even if I activate the formation marks at the beginning and kill the 2 life immortals of the pill sect, I would most likely be sneak attacked by Wuxia. I've missed Wuxia. The person I wanted to save turned out to be the most dangerous enemy. However, how did Ning Fan survive the joint attack of Wuxia and the Life Immortal Realm cultivator? How did Ouyang Nuan bring him to the ancient star region? Why did she bring him to the hidden sea star? There were still some questions that he did not have answers to. However, Ning Fan did not want to wake Ouyang Nuan up and ask her about it. He carried Ouyang Nuan to the bed and gently placed her down. Then he sat on the edge of the bed and quietly looked at Ouyang Nuan's sleeping face. His brows were slightly knitted. Is there really no way to prolong her life? Harry Ball snuggled comfortably in Ouyang Nuan's bed with a carefree look. It had no idea that its mother was about to die. A ray of traveling light landed lightly outside the purple myrtle pond. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He walked out of the cottage and saw that old man Qian had already returned. Didn't Senior leave the planet? Ning Fan cupped his fists and greeted him. I went on a long journey and wanted to kill a few people. However, I was worried about your character. So, I thought I should come back and have a look. Did Nuan meet you? Old man Qian's tone was a little strange. Humph. Once that girl lost her appearance, she didn't even want to meet me. How could she meet you? Sure enough, a grown girl can't be kept at home. Old man Qian's tone was sour. When he thought of Ouyang Nuan's current miserable state, he became speechless. Senior, do you know how to prolong the life of an innate medicinal body? Ning Fan suddenly asked. Oh, you want to save Nuan? Do you think you can get that thing with your insignificant cultivation base? Old man Qian harumphed coldly with disdain. That thing? What thing? Could it be that there's really a way to prolong Ouyang Nuan's life? Ning Fan's eyes flashed. There is. In ancient times, there was an immortal emperor called Great Emperor Changsheng. He created 3 pieces of longevity jade in his life. Any living being that refines this jade into their body can achieve immortality. Remember, it's any living being. Be it a mortal or a plant, as long as they can get their hands on this longevity jade, their innate medicinal body can also prolong their life. Among the 3 pieces of longevity jade, one was destroyed in the ancient war, one was lost in a true immortal's forbidden land, and its whereabouts are unknown, while the last one is in the hands of Sha Di of the Slaughter Palace. Which one do you think you can find? Nuan's master has been to countless ancient forbidden lands for 4 days, but he couldn't find the missing piece of longevity jade. Do you think you can find it? You can't even enter the outer area of those forbidden lands, right? Any life immortal realm, or true immortal realm ferocious beast can swallow you in a single bite. Old man Qian looked at Ning Fan with disdain and snorted coldly. Ever since Ouyang Nuan carried the half-dead Ning Fan and knelt in front of him to beg him to save her, he found Ning Fan to be an eyesore. Longevity jade? Doesn't Sha Di have one? Why don't you go to the Slaughter Palace and ask for it? With the medicine sect's resources, it's not like you can't get something good to exchange for a piece of longevity jade, right? Ning Fan asked doubtfully. Ask for something from Sha Di? Cough cough. Little friend, you are really courageous. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. If little friend dares to go to the Slaughter Palace and ask for something from Sha Di, I know, the medicine sect will agree to it without hesitation, no matter what condition Sha Di offers to exchange for the jade. Old man Qian looked at Ning Fan as if he was looking at an idiot. Ning Fan was like a fledgling who had just entered the starry sky and did not know how terrifying Sha Di was. Asking for something from Sha Di? Does this brat think that the sect master of the medicine sect has never been there before? On that day, when the sect master of the medicine sect said that he wanted to meet Sha Di and ask for his longevity jade, he was almost surrounded and attacked by the experts of the Slaughter Palace. Tens of millions of years ago, there was an immortal emperor who fancied a tuft of innate spiritual herb that belonged to Sha Di. He wanted to ask for it, but he was directly injured by Sha Di's finger and had to leave the Slaughter Palace in a sorry state. Whatever Sha Di fancied, he would definitely get it. Whatever he fancied, he would never allow anyone to covet it. Wanting to obtain the longevity jade from Sha Di was harder than ascending to the heavens. If Ning Fan goes to ask for Sha Di's longevity jade, his ending would definitely be very miserable. No. With his cultivation base, How would he be qualified to enter the bloody slaughter world, let alone meet Shadi? Asking for something from Shadi will result in a miserable ending? Ning Fan looked at Old Man Qian thoughtfully. Of course. You will die a horrible death. Old Man Qian sneered. No one has ever been able to get what they want from Shadi, huh? It's not like no one has ever done it before. If one possesses the cultivation base of the inner sect of the Slaughter Palace, and has made a great contribution, he or she can ask for a reward from Shadi. If Shadi is in a good mood, he might give the person what he or she wants. If Shadi is in a bad mood, he or she might just press the person into meat paste with just a finger. If I make a great contribution, I can ask for a reward from Shadi. Ning Fan's eyes sparkled again. If I present the elder token that has been lost for a long time, would it be considered as a great contribution? If I want to present the token, I must first become a disciple of the Slaughter Palace, and then find a way to enter the bloody slaughter world. Meet Shadi personally and present the token on the spot. If I reveal the fact that I have the elder token before meeting Shadi, I'm afraid that countless experts of the Slaughter Palace will immediately kill me and snatch my elder token. Whether presenting the elder token is considered as a great contribution or not, I still need to verify it. If this is feasible, I also need to think about how to meet Shadi step by step. Ning Fan knitted his brows tightly. Ouyang matter had successfully made him pay attention. Wei Qi betrayed him. He was saved because of Ouyang. Although he had returned a favor, he also owed her another favor for saving his life. In the end, he still has to return the favor. I'm not in a good mood right now. I'm going to kill a few people. You take good care of little girl Nguyen. If you do anything to her, I will certainly cut you into 8 pieces. Humph. The old man surnamed Qian's eyes flashed fiercely. He took a step forward and merged with heaven and earth. In the blink of an eye, he traveled a distance of a star field and disappeared. Ground shrinking into an inch. Ning Fan's eyes widened in shock. This old man Qian is really powerful. He actually managed to comprehend the ground shrinking technique. A long time after the elderly man had left, Ning Fan fell into deep thought. He had come to the ancient realm for the celestial soul herb. From today onwards, he would start searching for the whereabouts of the immortal soul herb. At the same time, he had to collect all sorts of information about the Slaughter Palace. As long as there was the slightest possibility, he would help Ouyang get the longevity jade. He had to return the favor that he owed. Chapter 7:12. The water of the crepe myrtle pond would emit a faint purple mist. This fog had the ability to slow down aging, which was the reason why Ouyang stayed here. She only had 20 years left to live. The purple mist could not extend her lifespan. At most, it could only slow down her aging. Ning Fan decided to leave the 100 Medicines sect and the Hidden Sea Star to search for the immortal soul grass on the immortal soul star. He still needed to find a slaughter pavilion to hand over the head of the demon man that he had killed 7 years ago, and buy information about the slaughter hall from there. Other than accepting and issuing missions, the slaughter pavilion also sold all kinds of information. As long as one could afford it, it was not impossible to find out the whereabouts of an immortal emperor. The best way for Ning Fan to obtain information about the longevity jade was to go to the slaughter pavilion. He had to leave secluded Sea Star, but he was not willing to leave Ouyang alone on secluded Sea Star to die. Thus, the entire purple myrtle pond was destroyed by Ning Fan. He condensed the pond water into a piece of purple jade the size of a fingernail, threaded it with a thread, and put it on Ouyang neck. This way, even if Ouyang left the netherworld star, the purple jade stone would still be able to provide purple mist to slow down Ouyang aging. With the destruction of the crepe myrtle pond, the 100 Medicine sect's protective array was also destroyed. The cultivators of the sect wanted to cry but had no tears. Ouyang looked at him speechlessly. Ning Fan did not know the cost of the crepe myrtle pond, but she did. That was the spirit pool that her master had spent 10 billion Dao crystals to create. Qian Qian's identity was very special. The reason he stayed on planet Secluded Sea was because he wanted to use the purple mist here to create an unaging spring pool to protect Ouyang. Otherwise, Why would a dignified true immortal like him have to conceal his identity and call himself an ancestor in this small 100 medicines sect? Senior. If Senior Qian returns and sees that you destroyed the crepe myrtle pond that he spent billions of Dao crystals and countless efforts to build, I'm afraid he will fight you to the death. Yangwan hugged Furball. Her face was covered with a green veil, and her white hair was tied up with a warm jade hairpin. She had given that hairpin to Ning Fan in the past as a keepsake for him to seek help from Qian Kaiyan. Now, however, she no longer needed it. After putting on the purple jade, Yangwan's skin no longer looked as old and withered as before. It had regained some of its vitality. When she heard that Ning Fan wanted to bring her along with him, her dull eyes also lit up with a hint of a smile. This crepe myrtle pond. Why is it so expensive? Forget it. The pond is already ruined. It's too late to say anything. Ning Fan shook his head helplessly. After killing the green turban bandits, he had seized more than 300 million Dao crystals and countless spoils of war. Among them, there was also a low-grade immortal formation disc. Using this formation disc, Ning Fan laid down an immortal realm grand formation around the 100 medicine sect, and passed it to the sect master. No matter what, Qian Kaiyan was the nominal old ancestor of the 100 medicine sect. He had asked Ning Fan to protect the sect, but Ning Fan wanted to leave, and even destroyed the purple myrtle pond, and the immortal void realm sect protection grand formation of the sect. Compensating with an immortal formation to protect the 100 medicine sect could be considered as a token of his sincerity. If Yangwan was already incurable, Ning Fan might stay in the 100 medicine sect and protect it for the next 20 years out of his desire to repay her kindness. He would accompany her for the last 20 years of her life. Now that he knew that Yangwan still had a way to survive, how could he let her stay here and wait for her death? The longevity jade was hard to come by, but if one did not try, how would one know that it was impossible? Cough cough cough. Furball's dad, where are we going? The immortal soul star. Yangwan sat on the ancient golden sword while holding the small furball in her arms. Her complexion looked a little weak, and she would cough from time to time. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was riding the ancient sword while holding the star compass of the ancient star region in his hand. Then he flew towards the immortal soul star planet at full speed. He had set up a formation around the ancient sword to prevent Yangwan from getting hurt by the wind of the void. At this moment, Yangwan was weaker than ever before. She could not travel in the void with her own strength at all. The immortal soul star? This star used to be the main star of the ancient star region. It was a high-grade cultivation star. The soul race on this star used to be the overlord of the ancient star region. However, due to some unknown reasons, the Slaughter Palace annihilated the soul race in a single night. All the true immortals of the ancient star region also died in that battle. Cough cough cough. Today, the immortal soul star has already become the temporary shelter of countless cultivators and bandits. If we go to the immortal soul star, we must be more careful. Yangwan knitted her brows and coughed softly again. She tried her best to lower her voice as she was afraid that the sound of her coughing would disgust Ning Fan. She did not mind becoming ugly and sickly. However, she was afraid that Ning Fan would dislike her unsightly appearance. Don't talk too much. Conserve your strength. When we go to the immortal soul star this time, I will try to find out more about the longevity jade. It will certainly help you to prolong your life. Ning Fan smiled and held Yangwan's skinny and soft palm. Then he transferred traces of magic power into her body to make her feel better. His gaze towards Yangwan did not change at all. It was not because he sympathized with her, but because he did not care about her appearance. To him, all the beauties in the world were just like skeletons that passed his eyes. How do you know that the longevity jade can save me? Who told you that? Could it be that stinky old man with the surname Qian? Yangwan was flustered. She really had enough of living. She did not want to let the people who cared about her risk their lives to search for the jade, just to keep herself alive. In order to let her live for 10,000 years, her master had gone to the true immortal Forbidden Lands time and time again to search for the jade. There were a few times where he almost lost his life. Today, Ning Fan actually wanted to search for the jade for her as well. What did she, Youngwon, do to make so many people risk their lives for her? It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Why do you have to do this for me? Did I beg you to do this? I just want to die peacefully. I don't want to owe anyone anything at all. You don't understand anything at all. Youngwon was a little agitated. How about we make a bet? Ningfan suddenly smiled. Bet? What kind of bet? Youngwon was stunned. Let's bet whether I can extend your life or not. What do you think? To be honest, I really don't have much confidence in finding the longevity jade for you. However, if I don't give it a try, I won't be satisfied. How about this? If I succeed in finding the longevity jade for you and extend your life, you will lose the bet. You have to promise me one thing. If I can't find the longevity jade in the end, I will promise you one thing even if I lose the bet. I will help you fulfill your last wish. Do you want to bet with me? Ningfan looked at Youngwon with a faint smile, waiting for her answer. If you win, what do you want me to promise you? Youngwon asked nervously. If I win, you have to spend a night with me. Ningfan purposely put on an evil expression. Of course it was just an act. Pervert. Youngwon angrily kicked him, but before she could reach Ningfan, her ankle was caught by Ningfan's. She originally thought that Ningfan's would bring up some serious reason, but who would have thought that Ningfan's head was filled with shit? Spending so much effort to save her. Was it really just to spend a night with her, shameless, perverted, and shameless? How come she didn't realize that Ningfan was such an unreliable man before? Ningfan nodded with satisfaction after seeing that Youngwon's sadness had lessened a lot. He finally understood the old monster's motive for saying those shameless words in the past. At that time, the old monster said that he saved his beloved wife in order to have sex with her, causing Ningfan to despise him. But now, it seemed like the old monster was only using his indecency to ease the atmosphere and dispel Ningfan's worries. Okay, I'll bet. I don't believe that you can find the longevity jade and save me. If you really can, I, Youngwon, will spend a night with you. I just don't believe it. At this moment, Youngwon regained her valiant and heroic spirit. She even dared to accept such a bet. Compared to her previous state of waiting for death, the current Youngwon once again had the ardent desire to live. Even if the hope of survival was very slim, she was no longer pessimistic. At this moment, she wanted to live. Ningfan nodded his head in satisfaction again. Since it could rekindle Youngwon's hope of survival, the existence of this bet became meaningful. He did not mention what would happen if he loses, and Youngwon also did not ask about it. If Ningfan loses the bet, Youngwon would die. Neither of them wanted to see this result. The sword light flashed for 10 days. 10 days later, a scarred cultivation planet covered in blood mist appeared in front of them. The Immortal Soul Planet. The Immortal Soul Planet was once a high-grade cultivation planet. However, it was massacred by the Slaughter Palace. The baleful blood mist had yet to disperse and the spiritual chi on the planet had become extremely thin due to the great battle in the past. This planet was no longer suitable for cultivators to cultivate. However, due to its special location, it became the temporary resting place for many Ancient Realm bandits. The Ancient Realm Star region was a place where bandits ran amok. Killing people and robbing their treasures was almost a common occurrence. During Ningfan's journey to the Immortal Soul Planet, he was attacked 37 times within 10 days. These bandits were either Void Refinement Realm experts or ordinary Void Fragmentation Realm experts. None of them were a match for Ningfan. Occasionally, there would be a few rogue Immortal Realm bandits blocking his way. However, they were all killed by Ningfan with a raise of his hand. There were many bandits in the Ancient Realm, but there were no true immortals among them. The strongest bandits were the 10-life Immortal Realm bandits. Each of the 10-life Immortal Realm bandits led a powerful bandit army. Each of them occupied a mid-grade cultivation planet that had yet to lose its spiritual chi. These 10-life Immortal Realm bandits were called the 10 Heavenly Monarchs of the Ancient Realm. The 10 bandit armies of the 10 Heavenly Monarchs and the other 62 bandit armies, including the Green Scarf Bandits, made up the 72 bandits. The 72 bandits were enemies but not friends. Therefore, even though Ningfan had annihilated the Green Scarf Bandits, he would not offend anyone. If there are other bandit armies that attack Ningfan, their motive would definitely not be to avenge the green scarf bandits, but to kill and rob their treasures. Qi, the ancient sword light, pierced through the layer of blood mist of the immortal soul planet and descended towards the only massive cultivation city on the planet. This city was called East Soul City. It used to be the capital of the immortal soul planet and was occupied by the soul race. After the soul race was annihilated, a slaughter pavilion was built in the city and it took control of the entire city. Other than East Soul City, there were no other cultivation cities on the immortal soul planet. The boundless land that came into view was a blood-red desert. Occasionally, some bandits would enter East Soul City in order to pay for rewards, post rewards, or gather information. Gradually, countless cultivation shops were built in the city. Of course, the owners of the shops were all bandits. Occasionally, there would be cultivators who did not know the background of East Soul Planet. They would buy precious magic treasures and spiritual herbs from some shops and reveal their wealth. However, as soon as they stepped out of the shop, they would be killed and robbed by the bandits in the shops. Due to the reputation of the slaughter pavilion, even the 10 great heavenly monarchs of the ancient realm did not dare to carry out a large-scale massacre in East Soul City. Occasionally, there would be casualties in the city. However, they were all small-scale battles which did not affect the overall situation. When they arrived outside the city, Ningfan kept the ancient golden sword and entered the city side by side with Ouyang. There was no one guarding the city gate. The long streets were filled with bandits with strange appearances. For burly bandits with black snake tattoos on their left arms were squatting at the side of the long street. They were drinking strong wine while facing the sandstorm that filled the city. The 4 of them were at the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. As soon as they saw Ningfan and Ouyang approaching them, the 4 of them sneered coldly. Their eyes turned sinister. Without needing any reason, they directly tried to kill Ningfan and Ouyang. They have black snake tattoos on their left arms. They are the members of the Black Snake Bandits. The Black Snake Bandits are one of the 72 bandits. They are not a force of the 10 heavenly monarchs. They love to rob and kill cultivators who pass by. My weak body can't be hidden from those with discerning eyes. Besides, the cultivation level you revealed is only at the 7th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. They must think that we are weak and easy to bully. That's why they want to kill us and rob our treasures. Ouyang secretly transmitted her voice to Ningfan. Do I really look so weak and easy to bully? Ningfan chuckled. Suddenly, his eyes were filled with immense killing intent. He pointed his finger, and a ray of black devil flame shot out from his finger and split into 4. The devil flame flashed and disappeared. The 4 burly bandits were immediately engulfed by the black devil flame. In just a moment, the 4 of them let out a miserable shriek and were burned into 4 piles of ashes by the devil flame. As for their storage pouches, Ningfan casually took them away. His skillful action made countless bandits who were paying attention to him feel embarrassed. Ningfan was a professional when it came to killing people and robbing their treasures. Hissed at I in the dark, countless bandits sucked in a cold breath. Their eyes were either filled with fear or respect as they looked at Ningfan and his group who were leaving calmly. In the ancient realm where bandits ran rampant, the strong had always been respected. Ningfan had killed 4 8-break realm cultivators with just a raise of his hand. His strength was comparable to a rogue immortal. No one dared to underestimate him. Isn't he old devil Qianqiu who rewarded us with 30 million Dao crystals? TSK. 30 million Dao crystals is really tempting. Unfortunately, he is just too strong. We can't get his head. A few bandits flipped through the bounty posters in their hands and sighed. They were just low-grade void fragmentation realm cultivators. They were no match for Ningfan. Oh, 30 million Dao crystals? Even if we can't get it, it doesn't mean others can't. One of them shifted his gaze towards a dark corner. There were already many rogue immortal bandits who were tempted by Ningfan's bounty. This brat has killed the 4 leaders of the Black Snake Bandits. That old devil Black Snake will certainly not let this matter go. At this moment, that old devil Black Snake is handing in the bounty mission in the slaughter pavilion. Judging from the direction that old devil Qianqiu is heading towards, It seems like he is also going to the slaughter pavilion. There is going to be a good show in the slaughter pavilion. That old devil Black Snake is the most protective one. He would never allow anyone to kill his own bandits. Some bandits who had nothing better to do sneered and followed behind Ning Fan from a distance. They wanted to go to the slaughter pavilion to watch the show. Ning Fan frowned. However, he did not kill the bored bandits behind him. This place was already very close to the slaughter pavilion. It was not advisable to kill near it. Youngwon walked for a long distance, and her face began to turn pale again. It seemed like she wanted to tell Ning Fan something. Just as she was about to open her mouth, she coughed softly and could not speak a word. Ning Fan's eyes turned gentle. He gently held Youngwon's hand and transferred his magic force to her. Youngwon's expression gradually eased. She retracted her hand imperceptibly and transmitted her voice to him. In the Eastern Heaven Immortal World, there is a slaughter pavilion on the main planet of every mid-grade star region and above. The pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion on a mid-grade cultivation planet is at least a rogue immortal realm cultivator. Occasionally, there will also be a life immortal realm cultivator guarding the pavilion. The pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion on a high-grade cultivation planet is at least a peak ghost profound realm cultivator. Occasionally, there will also be some true transcending realm true immortals guarding the high-grade slaughter pavilion. This slaughter pavilion is built on the immortal soul planet. Its pavilion master is at least a peak ghost profound realm cultivator. Cough cough. Ning Fan transferred some magic force to Youngwon and said with a faint smile, "Are you trying to tell me not to cause any trouble near the slaughter pavilion and offend this pavilion master?" Youngwon answered softly, "Don't worry. I know my limits. I won't act recklessly in a place like this." Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He entered the slaughter pavilion side by side with Youngwon. As soon as they stepped into the slaughter pavilion, a trace of spirit sense which was filled with immense baleful qi immediately scanned the two of them. Soon after, a soft exclamation of surprise rang out from the slaughter pavilion. The interior of the pavilion was not spacious. Countless bounties were hung on the walls on both sides. There was still a counter in front of them. An old man with a black snake tattoo on his left arm was leading a group of people to submit their tasks. Their expressions were extremely respectful. On the counter, there were 7 human heads. All of them were the heads of the bounty devils. The eyes of the slaughter pavilion master did not look at those human heads, nor did he look at the old man with the black snake. Instead, he briefly glanced at Youngwon. Eventually, his eyes stopped at Ning Fan with an inexplicable feeling. The sound of surprise was made by this person. It was a burly man who was on the verge of breaking through to the true immortal realm. He had a tall and sturdy body. His black hair was like a waterfall and his face was covered with a blood ghost mask. The mask was a spiritual equipment that could conceal the person's appearance and aura. The burly man's eyes stayed on Ning Fan for a long time. Suddenly, his eyes flashed with a hint of a strange smile. He smiled. The moment the old man with the black snake and the others saw the smile on the ghost face pavilion master's face, they broke out in cold sweat. They looked at Ning Fan with sympathy, because they knew that once the ghost face pavilion master revealed a smile, it meant that he was going to kill someone. Ning Fan would die. Chapter 7:13. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He grabbed Youngwon and took half a step back, staring at the ghost face pavilion master with extreme vigilance. The ghost face pavilion master had a shocking cultivation level, and was only one step away from the crossing reality state. This person was smiling. Why was he smiling? Why did this person make a sound of surprise? Could it be that he had discovered the Elder Token on him? Before he entered the Immortal Soul planet, he had already placed the Elder Token of the Slaughter Palace in the profound Een world. Logically speaking, even an immortal emperor might not be able to detect the existence of an Elder Token through an emperor artifact. However, there were always exceptions. Ning Fan was not sure whether the Immortal Realm experts of the Slaughter Palace had a secret technique that allowed them to sense the presence of the Elder's Order. After the incident of Wei Qi's betrayal, Ning Fan became more cautious than before. If the Ghost Face Pavilion Master really discovered his Elder Token and wanted to attack him, He would immediately use the Black Devil escape art to escape from this place, and set up a corner of the ancient Chaos Grand Monarch's ultimate killing rune in space to fight with him. The air in the slaughter pavilion seemed to freeze in an instant. Ouyang Nuan was also a little nervous. She had heard that the slaughter pavilion master was the most temperamental person in this place. He was usually as cold as ice and never smiled. But once he smiled, he would definitely kill someone. Did this ghost-faced pavilion master want to kill Ning Fan? Why? She wasn't afraid of death, but she didn't want Ning Fan to die. She couldn't allow Ning Fan to die. Slightly gritting her teeth, Ouyang Nuan stepped forward and stood in front of Ning Fan's. She mustered up her courage and looked at the ghost-faced pavilion master. I am the disciple of the medicine sect master, Ouyang Nuan. He is my husband. If you hurt him, even though the medicine sect is not as powerful as the massacre hall, they will not let this matter rest. What? Someone from the herbal sect? The expressions of Old Devil Black Snake and the other bandits changed upon hearing the name of the herbal sect. The medicine sect was indeed not as powerful as the Slaughter Palace, but it was still the #1 alchemy sect in Eastern Heaven. Even many immortal venerables would occasionally go to the medicine sect to ask for pills. Even this group of lawless bandits would not dare to provoke a colossus like the medicine sect. They had also heard of the disciple of the medicine sect's sect master, Ouyang Nuan. It was said that the sect master of the medicine sect was extremely stingy and cold towards others. However, he pampered his disciple to the extreme and was extremely generous. If someone offended the sect leader of the herbal sect, they might be able to appease the sect leader of the herbal sect, who valued wealth as much as his life, by shedding some blood and paying a large number of Dao crystals. However, if anyone were to offend Ouyang Nuan, the medicine sect's sect master would never let them off. He would grind their bones into dust and his methods would be extremely cold-blooded. The Black Snake Demon and the rest gulped. If the woman before them was truly Ouyang Nuan, then she was the person that the sect master of the medicine sect valued the most. They would never dare to provoke her. Even the half-step true immortal ghost-faced pavilion master would have to fear the prestige of the medicine sect. But, is this woman really Ouyang Nuan? Old Fiend Black Snake and company carefully sized up Ouyang Nuan. At this moment, Ouyang Nuan was wearing a purple jade. Her appearance could not be said to be old, but it could not be said to be too young or too beautiful. Her white hair was an eyesore, and her small body was too thin. Could a woman like this be the #1 beauty in the medicine sect? It was said that the medicine faction's head disciple, Ouyang Nuan, was a peerless beauty. In the entire eastern sky, she could be considered a first-class beauty. How could the woman in front of him be a beauty? It was impossible for this woman to be Ouyang Nuan. She scared me to death. I thought this woman was really the head disciple of the medicine sect. If she is really the head disciple of the medicine sect, she must have a peerless beauty and she must be protected by one of the 19 medicine guards of the medicine sect. This woman is not Ouyang Nuan at all. The Black Snake Demon sneered and said disdainfully. Ouyang Nuan's face under the light veil became even paler. She laughed at herself. That's right. Now that she no longer had a peerless beauty and Wei Qi was no longer protecting her, who would believe that she was Ouyang Nuan? She was the head disciple of the medicine sect. Ning Fan's cold eyes swept across the Black Snake Demon and the others. He did not say anything and quietly pulled Ouyang Nuan behind him. His heart was filled with a warm feeling. This woman can't even protect herself, yet she still wants to protect me. Silly. Interesting. The head disciple of the medicine sect. Interesting. How dare you threaten me? Qi the ghost-faced pavilion master's figure flashed, and suddenly disappeared from his original spot. In the next moment he appeared in front of Ning Fan. He lifted his finger and pointed at Ning Fan's heart. Ouyang Nuan's face turned pale with fright while the Black Snake Demon and the others sneered. They all thought that the ghost-faced pavilion master was going to kill Ning Fan out of anger. Ning Fan was secretly shocked. This ghost-faced pavilion master's attack was too fast. It was so fast that he had no time to defend himself. Even if he escaped with the Black Devil escape, he would most likely be affected by the force of this finger. Although this person had yet to break through to the true immortal realm, his strength was probably stronger than some true immortals. Gritting his teeth, Ning Fan was about to use the Black Devil escape to escape. Suddenly he stopped and his eyes were filled with confusion. He realized that although the finger of the ghost-faced pavilion master was extremely sharp, he did not want to kill him. Instead, he wanted to help him. The force of that finger contained some kind of extremely mysterious baleful qi that seemed to be able to suppress the devil sense. Could it be that this person wants to help me suppress the devil sense? But why does he want to help me? While thinking, Ning Fan gritted his teeth and chose not to escape. Instead, he took the attack from the ghost-faced pavilion master. When the finger touched his chest, Ning Fan felt a sharp pain in his heart. He coughed out a mouthful of black blood, but his eyes were filled with gratitude. The ghost-faced pavilion master's finger landed on Ning Fan's chest and infused the baleful qi into it, merging it with the devil sense. At this moment, Ning Fan was incomparably shocked to find out that he could use his own baleful qi to suppress the devil sense. He could even control the devil sense in his body. If the devil sense were to devour his heart again, he would no longer be lost as long as he used his baleful qi to protect his heart. Ning, husband, are you alright? Are you alright? Don't scare Nguyen Air. When Ouyang Nguyen saw Ning Fan spurting out blood from his middle finger, she felt as if her heart was being pierced by a knife. It was so painful. She raised her head and stared at the ghost-faced pavilion master coldly. She hated herself for being weak and weak. She hated herself for not being able to tear this person into pieces. For the first time in her life, Ouyang Nguyen had the intention to kill someone. Don't be afraid. I'm not dead. This senior doesn't have any evil intentions towards me. Just now he helped me to control the devil sense in my body. Ning Fan smiled at Ouyang Nguyen and transmitted his voice to her. Really? How is that possible? The people of the Slaughter Palace only know how to kill and never save people. He is a dignified half-step true immortal. Why would he help you control the devil sense? Besides, even my master, Senior Qian, couldn't completely suppress the devil sense in your body. What kind of ability does this person have to help you control the devil sense? Ouyang Nguyen's face was filled with disbelief as she transmitted her voice to Ning Fan. No matter what, she finally felt relieved after hearing that Ning Fan was fine. At that moment just now, she was really afraid that Ning Fan would die in the hands of this ghost-faced pavilion master. Thank you. Ning Fan cupped his fists at the ghost-faced pavilion master. He was clearly hit by the finger, but not only was he unharmed, he even became more spirited than before. The mouthful of black blood that he spat out was probably the component of the devil sense that was hard to control. After getting rid of these components, the devil sense had already become a part of Ning Fan's strength, a force that could increase his strength. Ning Fan was also very surprised. The quasi-emperor Tai Wu could not help him control the devil sense. Even Qian Kaiyan, who was a dignified true immortal, could not do it. However, the ghost-faced pavilion master, who was a half-step true immortal, did it. It was not because his cultivation base was higher than the quasi-emperor Tai Wu. Instead, it was because his finger technique was too mysterious. It seemed to be able to restrain baleful qi and devil sense. Without a doubt, that finger technique was the Slaughter Palace's divine ability. Ning Fan's mind raced. Perhaps the divine ability of the Slaughter Palace itself was based on baleful qi and devil sense. That was why it could control the baleful qi and devil sense so easily. In that case, if I can really join the Slaughter Palace, not only will I not need to get rid of the devil sense in my body, it can even become a powerful killing method for me. The ghost-faced pavilion master only responded indifferently to Ning Fan's thanks. His body flashed and he returned to the other side of the counter. The old devil Black Snake and the others looked at Ning Fan in confusion. They could not understand why Ning Fan was not killed by the ghost-faced pavilion master, and was merely injured by a finger. Could it be that the ghost-faced pavilion master was in a good mood today and spared Ning Fan's life out of kindness? Was that why Ning Fan thanked him? What a lucky kid. The old devil Black Snake sighed with emotion. These 7 heads are worth 50 million Dao crystals. After deducting 20%, you will get 40 million Dao crystals. The ghost-faced pavilion master flicked his sleeve and kept the 7 heads. Then he lifted his finger and a storage pouch appeared on the counter. It contained 40 million Dao crystals. The old devil black snake took the storage pouch and bowed respectfully to the ghost-faced pavilion master without saying a word. Then, the group of them left the slaughter pavilion in a hurry, not daring to stay any longer. Looking at the old devil black snake's figure that left in a hurry, Ning Fan's eyes flashed. He naturally noticed that the group of bandits had a black snake tattoo on their left arm. They were all members of the Black Snake Bandits. That black-robed rogue immortal old man is the bandit leader of the Black Snake Bandits, the old devil black snake. This person is very protective of his people. If he finds out that 4 of his subordinates were killed by you after he returns, he will certainly bring his men back to seek revenge. Young Wan reminded him through telepathy. Don't be afraid. I, your husband, am very powerful. Even if the Black Snake Bandits are abandoned, they won't be a threat to me. Ning Fan replied with a smile. Don't talk nonsense. Saying that you are my husband is just an expedient measure. Young Wan said angrily. I, on the other hand, feel that this title isn't bad. Ning Fan smiled and raised his head. His smile faded, and he stared at the ghost-faced pavilion master with a solemn expression. Why did this person help me? Does he have some ulterior motives, or is he just being kind? Is this person a friend or a foe? Little friend Qianqiu, you don't have to worry. I don't have any evil intentions or ulterior motives in helping you. I am just doing it on a whim. I have heard from the pavilion master of Shaozi Star that you are a good seedling who cultivates the Tao of Slaughter. Today, I can see that it is indeed true. Since you are able to cultivate so much devil sense when you are just at the void fragmentation realm, you will certainly be a promising talent if you join my Tao of Slaughter. The ghost-faced pavilion master seemed to have seen through Ning Fan's concerns, and explained with an indifferent tone. I see. Ning Fan nodded his head, seemingly accepting this reason. If this ghost-faced pavilion master had already heard about me from Lord Zhu of the Slaughter Pavilion of Shaozi Star, and helped me out of cherishing talent, then everything would naturally make sense. However, was this really the case? Ning Fan faintly felt that there was another reason why this person helped him. Cultivators at the second step of Tao cultivation were also fond of spiritual equipment. The spiritual equipment above the profound spirit realm was divided into 3 grades: Immortal grade, True grade, and Emperor grade. The ghost mask that this ghost-faced pavilion master was wearing was a true grade spiritual equipment. It could conceal one's chi without exposing a single bit. Even ordinary true immortals would not be able to detect his chi and appearance. Even though the ghost-faced pavilion master's chi was concealed, Ning Fan still felt a sense of familiarity from him. The burly figure of this person was very familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere before. This sense of familiarity came and went quickly. When Ning Fan carefully examined the figure of the ghost-faced pavilion master again, he felt that such a burly figure was just too common in the cultivation world. Was that sense of familiarity just an illusion? Forget it. No matter if this person was a friend or foe, Ning Fan decided to keep his guard up against him. What happened to Wei Qi had alerted Ning Fan. The reason why I came here today is to submit the Red Bounty mission, and buy some information. Recollecting his thoughts, Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out 17 sealed human heads. They were the heads of the devils that he had killed previously. The ghost-faced pavilion master's eyes swept across the human heads and said indifferently, "These 17 human heads are worth 140 million Tao crystals. After deducting 20%, you will get 112 million Tao crystals. At the same time, the total reward you have obtained is more than 30 million Tao crystals. No disciples of the Slaughter Palace will attack you." As soon as he finished speaking, the ghost-faced pavilion master flicked his sleeve and kept the 17 human heads. Then he took out a storage pouch and placed it on the counter. Ning Fan was not in a hurry to take the storage pouch. Instead, he asked, "I want to buy some information from you. May I know the price?" "One information, one price. Tell me the information you want, and I will tell you the price. Pay me and I will give you the information in the jade slip." The ghost-faced pavilion master's eyes revealed a meaningful smile. The way he addressed Ning Fan had changed from "this seat" to "I." His tone actually carried a hint of intimacy. "Ning Fan, he really doesn't have any ill intentions towards you. He only has good intentions. My 5-colored medicine soul can sense people's hearts. But why? Ouyangwan transmitted her voice to Ningfan doubtfully. I don't know. Don't trust the medicine soul too much. It's hard to predict a person's heart. Ningfan replied. After a short moment of silence, he asked the ghost-faced pavilion master in a distant tone. I need some immortal soul herbs. Where can I find them? The immortal soul herbs originally grew on the immortal soul star. However, the immortal soul star was barren now. Not even a single blade of grass could be found there. The information about the immortal soul herbs? The price is 200 million Dao crystals. 200 million for a piece of information. Ningfan sighed softly. He took out 88 million Dao crystals from his storage pouch and put them into another storage pouch. Then he placed it on the counter. Together with the previous reward, it was exactly 200 million. This is the information you want. The ghost-faced pavilion master kept the Dao crystals and took out a blood-red jade slip, handing it to Ningfan. Ningfan received the jade slip and scanned its contents with his spirit sense. His expression immediately changed. There were only a few simple sentences in the information. Ever since the immortal soul star was destroyed, there are no more immortal soul herbs in this world. However, there are still a small number of seeds of the immortal soul herb remaining in this world. There are also a few descendants of the soul race who have the secret technique to grow the immortal soul herb. The immortal soul herb cannot be grown without the secret technique of the soul race. Ningfan spent 200 million Dao crystals to buy a piece of information, but it was not very useful. I also have the information about the seeds of the immortal soul herb and the secret technique to grow the immortal soul herb. Do you want to buy them? The ghost-faced pavilion master asked with a smile. Ningfan was slightly stunned. Then his expression turned strange. This slaughter pavilion sure knows how to make money. They can even sell the information about the immortal soul herb like this. He was determined to get the immortal soul herb. Since there were no more immortal soul herbs in this world, he could only find the seeds and the secret technique to grow them himself. He must buy these 2 pieces of information. May I know how much these 2 pieces of information are worth? Ningfan asked. The information about the seeds is 200 million Dao crystals, while the information about the secret technique is 300 million Dao crystals. 500 million, huh? Ningfan scanned his storage pouch with his spirit sense. At this moment, there were only 450 million Dao crystals left in his storage pouch. He did not expect the information of the slaughter pavilion to be so expensive. He was already considered very rich among the 4 heavens void fragmentation realm experts. However, he could not afford a few pieces of information at all. Husband, this is for you. When Ouyangwan saw Ningfan's embarrassed look, she found it interesting. She untied her storage pouch and handed it to Ningfan. Ningfan lacked money, but she had never lacked it. She could tell that the information about the immortal soul herb was extremely important to Ningfan. Since Ningfan could not afford it, she would help him buy it. This is your money. How can I use it? Ningfan's expression was slightly awkward. I have even given my life to you. What's the harm in giving you some worldly possessions? I will give you my storage pouch now. Do you think you don't need to spend money to find the longevity jade? You don't need to treat me like an outsider. Ouyangwan hugged the little fur ball in her arms. She was in a good mood. Awo? Awo? The little fur ball looked at Ningfan in confusion. It did not understand why its father would feel ashamed spending its mother's money. It's me who is too meticulous about the small details. Ningfan's expression changed and he kept Ouyangwan's storage pouch without changing his expression. He took out 500 million Dao crystals from it and paid Ghost-Faced Pavilion Master to buy 2 sets of information. Ningfan could not help but admit that Ouyangwan was much richer than him. There were actually more than 50 billion Dao crystals in that small storage pouch. There were more than 20 tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs, 7 9th Revolution healing pills, and 158th Revolution healing pills. There was also the 3,000 years old immortal peach tree and various rare ancient herbs. The total value of the items in this storage pouch was at least 100 billion Dao crystals. After scanning the 2 sets of information with his spirit sense, Ningfan's expression changed again. The secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb was in the hands of Hun Tianjun, one of the 10 ancient heavenly monarchs. Hun Tianjun was a descendant of the soul race. He possessed the spiritual plant scripture which recorded the secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb. That spiritual plant scripture was stored in Hun Tianjun's treasure vault. If one wants to obtain this scripture, he would have to steal it. Hun Tianjun was cold-blooded and cruel by nature. He was a natural-born bandit. It was absolutely impossible to buy the spiritual plant scripture from him. The information about the secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb was extremely useful to Ning Fan. The 300 million Dao crystals were not spent in vain. As for the information about the seeds of the immortal soul herb, it was too much of a loss. There was only one sentence in this piece of information. I happen to have a small bag of the seeds of the immortal soul herb. Do you want it? Ning Fan looked at Ghost Face Pavilion Master speechlessly. Does Senior really have the seeds of the immortal soul herb? Of course I do. Ghost Face Pavilion Master said seriously. Ning Fan remained silent. He was a little confused about the situation. Is this Ghost Face Pavilion Master trying to deceive me of the Dao crystals on purpose? This person purposely sold the information separately. Even though he had the seeds of the immortal soul herb in his hands, he did not sell them to him directly. Instead, he said that he had the seeds of the immortal soul herb after earning more money. Would a dignified half-step true immortal realm old monster really covet Ning Fan's hundreds of millions of Dao crystals? With Ghost Face Pavilion Master's strength, wouldn't it be faster to snatch Ouyang Wan's 50 billion Dao crystals from Ning Fan's hands? Ning Fan could not understand it. If this person was not greedy for money, then he was purposely making fun of him. What exactly is this person planning? Why did he do so many illogical things? Haha, I really don't have any ulterior motives. I just want to play a little joke with an old friend. Why are you so nervous, Brother Ning? Ghost Face Pavilion Master could no longer hold back his laughter, and burst into laughter. Ning Fan was stunned. Then, he suddenly understood something and looked at Ghost Face Pavilion Master in disbelief. It's you. That's right. It's me. Brother Ning, how have you been? Ghost Face Pavilion Master laughed. He put away the Ghost Face spiritual outfit and revealed his true appearance. The way he looked at Ning Fan was filled with a sincere smile. How is this possible? The Ghost Face assassin of the Slaughter Palace actually showed his true appearance. Ouyang Wan stared at Ning Fan in disbelief. In the Slaughter Palace, not everyone had a ghost face. Only a small number of experts were recognized by Sha Di, and were given the Ghost Face spiritual outfit. Even the members of the Slaughter Palace rarely knew whether or not each other had a ghost face, and what kind of ghost face they had. She did not expect that the Ghost Face Pavilion Master of the Slaughter Pavilion would meet Ning Fan with his true appearance. Moreover, it seemed like he was Ning Fan's old friend. Husband, who is he? Ouyang Wan asked speechlessly. No wonder Ghost Face Pavilion Master helped Ning Fan to suppress his devil sense. It turned out that he was Ning Fan's friend. However, this friend of his was too unkind. He didn't reveal his identity earlier, and made her worry for half a day. Without waiting for Ning Fan's introduction, Ghost Face Pavilion Master laughed and introduced himself. I am Wu Chen, the Wu who has no respect for the law and the Chen who massacred people in a city. There were outsiders here just now, so it was really inconvenient for me to reveal my identity. Please forgive me if I have offended you. Sister-in-law. Ouyang Wan blushed, and did not know what to say. Wu Chen suddenly stopped smiling. He took out a small green pouch and passed it to Ning Fan. I was joking with Brother Ning just now. I hope Brother Ning won't mind. This is the seed of the immortal soul grass that I obtained by chance. If Brother Ning needs it, you can just take it. As for the secret technique of planting the immortal soul grass, I will accompany Brother Ning to find that Hun Tianjun later. I believe he won't dare to refuse to hand over the secret technique. Thank you. Ning Fan cupped his fists and bowed. He naturally did not mind Wu Chen's teasing. Wu Chen waved his hand, signaling Ning Fan not to be so courteous. Then he glanced at Ouyang Wan again and said to Ning Fan with a slight frown. Sister-in-law's body doesn't seem to be in good condition. Brother Ning, Are you here to inquire about other information? Yes. The reason why I came here today is not only to inquire about the immortal soul grass, but also about the longevity jade. I want to join the slaughter palace. After making a great contribution, I will ask Shadi to bestow me the longevity jade. Ningfan did not need to lie to Wu Chen. He did not have many good friends, and Wu Chen was one of them. You want the longevity jade that belongs to Shadi. Wu Chen's expression changed drastically. After taking a deep breath, Wu Chen's expression became unprecedentedly serious. He tried to dissuade Ningfan. No one is allowed to covet the item that belongs to Shadi. Even if you join the slaughter palace and become its disciple, making a great contribution, it will still be very difficult for you to get that longevity jade. As far as I know, Shadi values this item very much. It seems like it holds a special meaning to him. He will not bestow the jade to anyone. If you ask for the jade, you might infuriate him, and he will directly sentence you to death. Even if I offer the elder token to him, I won't be able to get it. I have to get the longevity jade. Even though I know the chances are slim, I still want to go to the slaughter palace and give it a try. If I don't have this jade... Ningfan clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. Then, he looked at Ouyang who was beside him. Without the longevity jade, Ouyang would certainly die 20 years later. All the emotions in his heart were stuck in his chest, making him feel annoyed. He did not want to watch Ouyang die in front of him. He must do something. The Elder Token. Could it be the Elder Token of Elder Linglong? How is this possible? How could the Elder Token that Shadi could not find anywhere in the world be in your hands? Wu Chen exclaimed in disbelief. Chapter 7:14. Elder's Order. Elder Linglong's Elder Order. Wu Chen exclaimed in disbelief. Now there was only one Elder Order that the Slaughter Palace had yet to retrieve. That Elder Token was also of special significance to Shadi. Where did Ningfan find the Elder Token? You don't know where I found the Elder's Order? Ningfan looked at Wu Chen in surprise. Didn't Wu Chen tell him to use the Ascension Passage? Could it be that there was something inside that Wu Chen didn't know about? How would I know where you found the Elder's Token? If I knew, I would have taken it myself and brought it back to Slaughter Palace. Do you think it's your turn to take it? Do you know how much Shadi values that Elder's Token? If we can retrieve that token, the merit would be really... Wu Chen looked at Ningfan enviously. He really envied Ningfan to death. He could find the item that the killing emperor had been longing for. If Ningfan was just a stranger, perhaps Wu Chen would have already killed him to seize his treasures and token to claim credit. Unfortunately, Ningfan was his friend. He would never take away his friend's treasure. This was his principle. Seeing that Wu Chen really did not know anything about it, Ningfan could not help but laugh and explain. Do you still remember our reunion in the Sword World? Didn't you help me calculate an Ascension Passage? It's in the Rain World. I found the Elder's Order in that Ascension Passage. What? Where did you find the Elder Order? So it's there. No wonder the Shadi couldn't find the Elder's Order even after searching the entire Four Heavens immortal realm. Wu Chen suddenly had the urge to strangle himself. When he helped Ningfan calculate the Ascension Passage back then, it was definitely just a sudden impulse. He just wanted to calculate which ascension would be the most helpful to Ningfan. As a result, he accidentally calculated that there was an Ascension Passage hidden in the Rain World. Unfortunately, that was all he could calculate. As for which almighty being had secretly opened up the passageway, he couldn't figure it out. He didn't expect that he, Wu Chen, would be able to predict the location of Elder Linglong's death and the location of the Elder Token with just a simple calculation with his fingers. At that time, he had already fully comprehended the truth and was in a hurry to return to Eastern Sky. Unexpectedly, he didn't have the time to investigate that passage. Just like that, Wu Chen miserably missed the opportunity to become an elder. This was Ningfan's chance. It was a chance that Wu Chen had given to him. Others could not find the place of Fu Linglong's death even if they were courting death. Wu Chen, on the other hand, had found the place, but he did not have the opportunity to find the Elder Token. Ningfan was the only one who obtained Fu Linglong's Elder Token by accident. If he presents the token to Shadi in exchange for the longevity jade, Shadi might really agree to it. Of course, it was just a possibility. Brother Ning, you definitely don't have black luck. At the very least, you have the first grade of mortal luck, the purple luck. Wu Chen looked at Ning Fan confidently. Oh, Brother Wu, why are you so sure that I don't have black luck? Ning Fan smiled noncommittally. Nonsense. Can a cultivator with bad luck find something that even an immortal emperor can't? Wu Chen snorted coldly. Seeing that Ning Fan did not know much about fate, he briefly explained the relationship between the strength of one's fate and the number of fortuitous encounters. The amount of fortuitous encounters a cultivator had was related to their luck and cultivation level. At the same cultivation level, those with stronger providence would naturally have more fortuitous encounters. For those with the same luck, the weaker their cultivation level was, the more fortuitous encounters they would have. Wu Chen was also a cultivator with purple luck. Unfortunately, he did not have the fortuitous encounter to obtain that elder token, because his cultivation level was too high. As a half-step true immortal realm cultivator, it was really not strange for him to have purple luck. Cultivators at the same level as him would at least have purple luck. It was very difficult for the fortuitous encounters bestowed by the heavens to Wu Chen. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was different. His cultivation level was still very low. If he had purple luck, the benefits would naturally be great. If a void fragmentation realm cultivator of the same level as him were to compete for fortuitous encounters, who could compete with Ning Fan for purple luck? Most of the cultivators with the same luck were life immortal realm cultivators. If they were to compete for fortuitous encounters, not many of them would be able to compete with Ning Fan. Wu Chen still did not know that Ning Fan already had the first color of immortal luck. In the Eastern Heaven immortal world, normally, only cultivators at the True Crossing realm could cultivate their luck to the first color. However, Ning Fan had cultivated one color of immortal luck when he was at the Void Fragmentation realm. In other words, most of the old monsters at the True Crossing realm would not be able to compete with Ning Fan for fortuitous encounters. After all, Ning Fan's cultivation level could not be any lower among those who had the same luck as him. No wonder I was able to obtain heaven-defying treasures time and time again, even though I only had purple luck in the past. So this is the reason. There are also benefits to having a low cultivation level, right? Ning Fan muttered to himself thoughtfully. After talking a lot of nonsense, Wu Chen suddenly slapped his forehead and smiled awkwardly. I forgot that we were talking about the longevity jade. Why are we getting further and further away from the topic? I suppose the reason why Ning Fan is so persistent in searching for the longevity jade is because of my sister-in-law, right? Wu Chen glanced at Ouyang Wan and let out a long sigh. Even though he had only met Ning Fan a few times, they hit it off very well. Moreover, he knew Ning Fan's character very well. If it wasn't for this woman, why would Ning Fan risk the wrath of Shadi and insist on going to the Slaughter Palace to obtain the longevity jade? Yes. Without the longevity jade, Nguyen Heir will die 20 years later. Ning Fan frowned and said, Nguyen Heir. Ouyang Wan's cheeks turned red again. She moved her feet slightly and stomped on Ning Fan's body a few times as a warning. Since when did she allow Ning Fan to call her that? Just as I expected. Since Brother Ning has found the Elder Command token, then everything will be much easier. The merit of presenting the token is enough for Shadi to consider giving you the longevity jade. Of course, it's just a consideration. No one knows whether Shadi will actually give you the longevity jade or not. I still have to try before I can be satisfied, don't I? Ning Fan sighed. Go and try. However, before that, Ning Fan must first find a way to join the Slaughter Palace and meet Shadi personally. Then he will present the token to him. Before he presents the token, he must not reveal any information about the token to prevent the old monsters in the palace from killing him and snatching the token. Speaking of which, Brother Ning's luck is really good. Our Slaughter Palace will only recruit one disciple every 1,000 years. The Grand Disciple Acceptance Ceremony of the Slaughter Palace this time will be 10 years later. Sister-in-law still has 20 years to live. As long as Brother Ning can join the Slaughter Palace before that, and present the Elder Token to obtain the longevity jade, her life will be saved. However, it's not an easy task to go to the main palace of the Slaughter Palace within 10 years to participate in the Grand Disciple Acceptance Ceremony. Wuchen held his chin and frowned as if he was thinking of a solution. Youngwon looked at Ning Fan blankly. She never knew that Ning Fan had actually decided to go to the Slaughter Palace to obtain the most dangerous longevity jade to help her prolong her life. Yes, the longevity jade was the most difficult and dangerous one to obtain. The danger of obtaining the jade from Sha Di was incomparable to the danger in the true immortal land. It was completely a gamble. Fu Linglong's elder token was just a wager. Ning Fan was betting that Sha Di would give him the longevity jade in consideration of his contribution in presenting the token. If he loses the wager, even if he did not die after obtaining the Void Glimpse stage killing Emperor's jade, he would still end up in a miserable state. If Sha Di wants to kill or punish someone, there was almost no one in the Eastern Heaven who could save him. Ning Fan, let's go look for money. No, let's go look for my master. Let's go look for the longevity jade in the true immortal land. Don't take the jade from Sha Di. It's too dangerous. Youngwon bit her lips and advised him. You've said that your master has traveled to countless true immortal land in the four heavens immortal worlds for 8,000 years, but he still could not find that longevity jade. That longevity jade is just too difficult to find. Sha Di's jade is the most likely to be obtained. Let's go and try. Even if we can't get the jade, Sha Di will probably spare my life considering my contribution in presenting the token. But what if? If Brother Ning is in trouble, I will go and save him. No matter what, I will definitely protect your life. My ancestors have been members of the Slaughter Palace for generations. My ancestors had made great contributions, and were given a death exemption token. With this token in hand, apart from the crime of betraying the palace, you can be exempted from any crime. After pondering for a moment, Wuchen took out a golden token from his storage pouch and passed it to Ning Fan. The word exemption was engraved on the token. It was written in divine seal script. This token was Wuchen's life-saving item. It was incomparably precious. Ning Fan's eyes widened slightly. He looked deeply at Wuchen and received the death exemption token without rejecting it. I will definitely repay your kindness in the future. Wuchen shook his head disapprovingly and laughed. What kindness? I just don't want to lose a fair-weather friend like you. He had never befriended anyone in his life. Ning Fan was his first fair-weather friend. They drank wine together, watched the rain together, and comprehended the Tao together. When his friend is in trouble, he would naturally do his best to help him. If he is in trouble, Ning Fan would certainly not ignore him. The main hall of the Slaughter Palace is located in the Blood Sea Star region of the Imperial Star region. From here you will need to cross 15 high-grade star regions, 200 mid-grade star regions, and 5,000 low-grade star regions to reach the Blood Sea Star region. It's just too far away. With my speed, it will take me 12 to 13 years to reach the Blood Sea Star region, even if I fly at full speed. Even if I have the intention to send you guys to the Blood Sea Star region, I won't be able to reach it within 10 years. Moreover, I'm currently in charge of overseeing this slaughter pavilion, so I can't leave this pavilion for too long. I can only leave the pavilion for more than a month after someone else replaces me. Therefore, Brother Ning can only rely on yourself to go to Blood Sea Star Field this time. The Blood Sea Star Field is the Imperial Star Field. You'll need the Imperial Star Plate to get there. It's very difficult for cultivators from the outside world to buy the Blood Sea Star Plate. This is my Star Plate. You can use it. If you want to reach the Blood Sea Star Field within 10 years, you can only buy a large number of Stargate Jade Slips. A set of Stargate Jade Slips has 100,000 Tao Crystals, and you will need about 300,000 Jade Slips. How many Tao Crystals does Brother Ning currently have? Wuchen took out his Emperor Star Disc and gave it to Ning Fan. The Stargate Jade Slip was a special kind of Realm Gate Jade Slip. It could open the Stargate and allow one to travel 500 billion miles in one go. It was a must-have item for many Life Immortal Realm cultivators, and it was very expensive. Due to the slow opening of the Stargate, it wasn't suitable to open the Stargate to escape during battle. However, the Stargate Jade Slip would be very useful if it was used for traveling. A Stargate Jade Slip was priced at 100,000 myriad Tau crystals. 10 Stargate Jade Slips were more than enough to pass through a low-level starfield. About 500 to 600 Stargate Jade Slips were needed to pass through a mid-level starfield. About 10,000 Stargate Jade Slips were needed to pass through a high-level starfield. Based on this calculation, if he wanted to reach the Bloodsea starfield quickly, he would need to buy about 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips. According to the price of 100,000 Tau crystals per Stargate Jade Slip, he would need at least 30 billion Tau crystals. It doesn't matter. We have 50 billion Tau crystals. It's enough to buy the Jade Slips. I just don't know where I can buy so many Stargate Jade Slips. When the Life Immortal Realm cultivators travel, they usually only bring a few thousand Stargate Jade Slips. 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips isn't a small number. I'm afraid even an ordinary mid-level trading planet doesn't have so many of them. Ouyang was quite familiar with space travel. Knowing that it wasn't easy to buy 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips, she felt a little worried. It's all right. As long as we have enough money, just leave it to me. I will definitely be able to buy 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips within a month. Within this month, Brother Ning and sister-in-law will stay here and wait for my good news. Brother Ning, give me 30 billion Tau crystals. I will help you buy the Jade Slips. I don't need 30 billion. 20 billion is enough. Those Life Immortal Realm forces won't dare to refuse me even if the price is lower when they see me buying them. Wuxia laughed and asked for the 20 billion Tau crystals from Ningfan. Then he changed his appearance and revealed his ghost face. He concealed his qi and walked into the inner room of the slaughter pavilion. After that, he gave a few instructions to the children. Then, he strode out of the slaughter pavilion, leaving Ningfan and Ouyang to look at each other. Big brother Wuxia is really a good person. He actually helped us with all his heart. Ouyang sighed. I'm afraid I won't be able to repay the favor I owe him in this lifetime. Ningfan sighed softly. A feeling that he had never felt before suddenly rose in his heart. 2 gold core realm children with bloodshot eyes walked out of the inner room. One of them stayed outside, and was in charge of receiving the other cultivators and handing over the tasks. The other person led Ningfan and Ouyang into the inner room to rest. This place was the slaughter pavilion. It was extremely safe. If Ningfan and Ouyang stayed here, even the 10 great heavenly monarchs of the ancient star region would not dare to trespass this place and find trouble with Ningfan. Wuxia would leave the ancient star region for a month, and head to some of the bigger star regions nearby to plunder star plates. As for Ningfan and Ouyang, they would stay in the slaughter pavilion for a month. 1 month later, Wuxia returned with 300,000 star plates. Then he brought Ningfan to Han Tianjun to ask for the spiritual plant scripture. During this month, Ningfan decided to improve his strength properly. He still had 1 ascension pill, 1 life immortal dragon pearl, and more than 30 billion Tau crystals. Ningfan pondered for a while, and called the child over. He wanted to ask him to buy another emergence pill in Eastern Spirit City. The child was a member of the slaughter pavilion. The bandits outside would not dare to kill him and seize his treasures. Ningfan decided to improve his cultivation base to the peak of the void fragmentation realm, before he leaves the slaughter pavilion. After that, he would go to the profound Yin world, and improve his cultivation base within a month. As for Ouyang, she would stay in the Yuan Yao world to rest for the time being. After all, it would be hard for him to feel at ease if he left her outside. Old Devil Black Snake nearly went mad with anger. As soon as he left the slaughter pavilion, he heard that the 4 leaders of his Black Snake bandits were killed by Ningfan. In a fit of rage, Old Devil Black Snake immediately summoned all the void fragmentation realm experts of the Black Snake bandits, and secretly surrounded the slaughter pavilion. He did not dare to enter the slaughter pavilion and act wantonly. However, as soon as Ningfan steps out of the pavilion, he would certainly tear him into pieces. He was just that overbearing and protective of his people. Since Ningfan touched his people, he deserved to die. Time passed by slowly. Ever since Ningfan entered the slaughter pavilion, he never came out again. After a long time, Ghostface Pavilion Master walked out with a cold aura. As soon as he saw Old Devil Black Snake, he sneered. If you don't leave within 3 breaths, you will die. When Old Devil Black Snake and the other bandits heard Ghostface Pavilion Master's cold words, their souls almost left their bodies. No one dared to disobey his orders. Even the 10 heavenly monarchs would not dare to speak loudly in front of him. At this moment, Old Devil Black Snake no longer remembered his hatred towards Ning Fan. Without hesitation, he directly gave the order. Retreat! Retreat! They had no choice but to retreat. Didn't they hear Ghostface Pavilion Master's order? If they don't leave within 3 breaths, they will die. All the Void Fragmentation Realm experts of the Black Snake Bandits used their fastest speed to escape from this place. Old Fiend Black Snake smiled apologetically at Ghostface Pavilion Master before glaring fiercely at Slaughter Pavilion Master. He cursed softly. Thousand Autumn, consider yourself lucky. The next time we meet, I'll definitely tear you to shreds. With a sneer, Old Devil Black Snake desperately escaped from this place, not daring to touch Ghostface Pavilion Master's tiger whiskers. He did not know that when he threatened to tear Ning Fan into pieces, Ghostface Pavilion Master's eyes flashed with killing intent. In the end, it turned into a ferocious smile. This was Wu Chen's smile when he was about to kill. Without any explanation or warning, Wu Chen suddenly took a step forward. His body turned into hundreds of blood shadows and chased after each of the bandits. The blood shadows had already caught up with each of the bandits at a terrifying speed. With a sweep, all of them lost their flesh and blood, turning into dried bones that fell from the sky. The scene was extremely horrifying. After a breath, all the bandits were dead, turning into white bones that littered the ground. Old Devil Black Snake could not understand why Ghostface Pavilion Master would kill him all of a sudden. Hundreds of blood shadows merged into one. Wu Chen licked his lips and sneered. He kept the hundreds of storage pouches and flew towards the outside of the ancient star region. How could this bunch of cats and dogs harm his friends? Chapter 7:15. Inside the profound Een world, days and nights changed. In a slightly old thatched hut, a white-robed young man was sitting cross-legged on a bed. White mist lingered around his body as he was refining the power of the emergence pill. The white-robed young man's expression was cold. His robes fluttered even though there was no wind. His black hair fluttered along with his aura force. 2 emergence pills, 1 life immortal dragon pearl, as well as countless pills and Dao crystals. With Ouyang Nuan's money, Ning Fan bought enough items to increase his cultivation base. He was confident that he could reach the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm within a month. With Ning Fan's personality, he disdained to borrow the power of others to increase his strength. However, the current situation was special. It was not the time to be mindful of trifles. After Wu Chen left, Ning Fan inquired about the situation of the disciple recruitment ceremony from the attendant in the slaughter pavilion. Ning Fan could not help but feel shocked after he inquired about it. Most of the cultivators of the slaughter palace were born in the bloody slaughtering world. It was very difficult for cultivators from the outside to join the slaughter palace. Every 1,000 years, the slaughter palace would only hold a disciple recruitment ceremony to recruit a disciple from the outside. In every disciple recruitment ceremony, there would be tens of thousands of cultivators from the Eastern Heaven who wanted to join the slaughter palace. The slaughter palace's criteria for accepting disciples from the outside was very strict. In order to participate in the ceremony, one must at least meet 2 major criteria. First, one must have a cultivation base above the Void Fragmentation Realm. Second, one's bone age must not exceed 30,000 years. Above the 4 heavens, Void Refinement Realm and Void Fragmentation Realm cultivators with a bone age of less than 20,000 years were considered as cultivators of the younger generation. According to the calculation of one generation every 20,000 years, the participants of each disciple recruitment ceremony would not only include the young talents of the current generation, but also those from the previous generation. Ning Fan knew his own limitations. In terms of cultivation aptitude, he cultivated 3 clans at the same time. He had the ancestral blood of 2 clans and the royal blood of 1 clan. In the entire Eastern Heaven, no one in the current generation or the previous generation could compare to him. In terms of cultivation level, he might not be able to be ranked among the top cultivators with a bone age of 30,000 years. After all, his bone age was only slightly more than 1,000 years. In the Eastern Heaven immortal world, even though there were only a few who could attain immortality within 30,000 years, it was not impossible. The prodigy of the Northern Heaven, Western Emperor Shimen Yi, had already reached the void fragmentation realm with a bone age of 2,000 years. His cultivation aptitude could be ranked among the top 4 in the current generation of the Northern Heaven. But his cultivation was far from being the highest in this generation of North Sky. After all, he had only cultivated for a short period of time, and was only praised for his aptitude. If Ningfan wanted to obtain the longevity jade, the first step was to stand out from the tens of thousands of Eastern Sky's geniuses who were below 30,000 years old, and become the champion of the disciple recruitment ceremony. This was the only way to join the Slaughter Temple. After all, every 1,000 years, the Slaughter Hall would only recruit the strongest person from the outside. All of the tens of thousands of geniuses participating in the competition were at the void fragmentation realm. Among them, there was no lack of rogue immortals or even life immortals. According to what Xiao Tong knew, currently in the entire Eastern Sky, there were a total of 7 life immortals whose skeletal age did not exceed 30,000. Among them, 4 of them had strong backgrounds, and they would not abandon the forces behind them to join the Slaughter Palace. Only the 3 of them did not have any background, but they all had the intention to join the Slaughter Palace. They might be able to participate in the recruitment ceremony of the Slaughter Palace. These 3 people all had the cultivation of the human profound initial stage, and were the Eastern Sky's Heaven's chosen characters of the previous generation. Within 10 years, it was definitely impossible for Ningfan to become an immortal. His comprehension of the Tao of life and death had yet to reach perfection. Immortal ascension was about comprehension. It wasn't something that could be comprehended overnight, nor was it something that could be achieved by accelerating time. Before participating in the competition, Ningfan could at most cultivate to the peak of the void fragmentation realm. At that time, with the devil sense and the steel of sun and moon in his body, Ningfan might be able to compete with a few life immortal heavens chosen. Time passed day after day. Ningfan's magic power was also increasing at a terrifying speed. 6 million yuan hui, 7 million yuan hui, 8 million yuan hui. When his magic power exceeded 10 million yuan hui, Ningfan was surprised to find that his magic power was gradually unable to be accurately measured. Even though he could not measure it accurately, he could still feel the magic power in his body continuously increasing. Magic power is immeasurable. Ningfan's eyes flashed, as if he had understood something. From 60 years of magic power to 1 yuan hui, it was a qualitative change in magic power. From measurable magic power to immeasurable magic power, it was another qualitative change. The magic power of the first step of Tao cultivation was like the grains of sand in the desert. No matter how many there were, it could still be counted. The magic power of the second step of Tao cultivation was like the water droplets in the lake. The size of the water droplets could be changed. It was no longer possible to accurately measure the number of water droplets. However, the increase of the water in the lake could still be seen. Ningfan's cultivation base continued to increase. The 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, and the peak of the 9 heavenly layers of the void fragmentation realm. Within a month, he had achieved 2 consecutive breakthroughs in his cultivation base. His cultivation base had already reached the peak level of the 9 shattering realm. His magic power could no longer increase any further. 2 breakthroughs meant that he had experienced 2 sovereign lightning tribulations. The sovereign Qi dragon was already 90 feet long, and the might of a single strand of sovereign Qi was equivalent to 90 strands of sovereign Qi. 1 month later, Ningfan left the profound Yin world. His Qi had undergone a drastic change. It became indistinct, difficult to find, and immeasurable. It faintly carried the aura of an untainted immortal. Little Qiu, look, your father is not far from becoming an immortal. I'm afraid he will become an immortal in another 100 or 200 years at most. After Ningfan left the profound Yin world, He naturally released Ouyang back to the outside world. Ouyang said with a smile as she stroked the little fur ball in her arms. She was in a good mood. The reason why she was happy was because she found out that Ningfan did not treat her as an outsider, and used her money to buy pills to improve his cultivation base. From then on, she had left a mark on his life. From now on, even if she dies, she would never be forgotten by him. Your complexion looks a little worse. Ningfan looked at Ouyang's increasingly pale face and frowned. You're mistaken. My complexion looks very good. Am I right, little Qiao? Ouyang played with the little fur ball as if nothing had happened. She did not want Ningfan to worry about her body. Is that so? Ningfan did not say anything else. He just held Ouyang's hand, which was playing with the fur ball, as if nothing had happened, and channeled his magic power into her body. Ouyang's shoulders trembled. She did not withdraw her hand. Instead, her lowered eyes carried a sweet smile. Cough cough. It seems like I've come back at a bad time. A burly man with a ghost face appeared in the inner room of the slaughter pavilion. His face was covered with dust and his body reeked of blood. His eyes were filled with fatigue. Big brother Wu, you're back. Ouyang quickly withdrew her hand. Her ears were red. Brother Wu, are you injured? Ningfan asked with a frown. Ningfan did not know that Wuchen had gone to 7 to 8 mid-grade star regions in the past month just to buy enough Stargate Jade slips. Some life immortal realm forces were unwilling to sell the Jade slips at a low price. Thus Wuchen directly used force to buy the Jade slips. Even so, he only managed to buy 150 to 60,000 Jade slips. He still needed half of the Jade slips to fly to the Blood Sea Star region. Seeing that 1 month was almost up, Wuchen went to a high-grade star region and forcefully bought the Jade slips from a true crossing realm force at a low price. Of course, the other party was unwilling to sell them. He fought a hard battle with that true immortal realm true immortal. In the end he won, but he was slightly injured. However, after the battle he finally bought enough Stargate Jade slips. It's just a minor injury. There are a total of 350,000 Jade slips in this storage pouch. It's enough for you to use. Wuchen waved his hand, indicating that his injury was fine. Then he laughed and tossed a heavy storage pouch to Ningfan. Ningfan caught the storage pouch and gave Wuchen a deep look. Then he kept all the Jade slips but did not thank him. I'll just keep my gratitude in my heart and find a chance to repay him in the future. I've already bought enough Stargate Jade slips. You just need to get your hands on that spiritual plant scripture, and you can depart to the Blood Sea Star region. Let's go. I'll accompany you to find Han Tianjun and ask for the spiritual plant scripture. I don't think he will dare to refuse. Wuchen smiled domineeringly. He stomped on the ground and a blood-red lotus suddenly rose from the ground. Slaughter Lotus. This is the genuine grade flying escape spiritual equipment of the Slaughter Palace. Its speed is comparable to that of a true immortal realm true immortal. Moreover, it doesn't consume any magic power when flying. Ouyang exclaimed softly. Not bad. Ningfan nodded his head and praised. Haha. I used my killing points to exchange for this in the Slaughter Palace. In the future, when Brother Ning enters the Slaughter Palace, you can also complete missions to obtain killing points. Then you can use the killing points to exchange for the items you want. Wuchen laughed heartily. As soon as he stepped on the lotus, it immediately turned into a ray of blood-red light. Carrying the 3 of them, it disappeared from the Slaughter Palace in an instant and disappeared without a trace. Heavenly Star, Empty Soul Mountain, Soul Lord Stronghold. This was a mid-grade cultivation planet. It was occupied by Han Tianjun, one of the 10 ancient heavenly lords. Han Tianjun was an early profound human life immortal realm life immortal. Currently, he was sitting in the main hall of the stronghold, looking down at a group of guests with a cold expression. There were only 7 people in this group. All of them wore greensword robes and carried greensword cases on their backs. All of their cultivation bases were at the rogue immortal realm. None of them were at the life immortal realm. However, when facing Han Tianjun, who was at the life immortal realm, their expressions were extremely arrogant. Cultivators of the mysterious sword sect, why have you come to me? Han Tianjun asked coldly. Mysterious sword sect. It was a life immortal realm force in Wufeng star region of the Eastern Heaven immortal world. The sect master of the mysterious sword sect was an old monster at the peak human profound realm. Even Han Tianjun was quite afraid of him. Even though he was afraid of the prestige of the sect master of the mysterious sword sect, he did not like the arrogant attitude of the 7 rogue immortals. The sect master of my sect is willing to pay 2 billion Dao crystals. Heavenly Lord, please kill 2 people. The leader of the 7 rogue immortals took out a heavy storage pouch. He took a few steps forward and handed it to Han Tianjun. 2 billion? Kill who? Han Tianjun retracted his cold expression and squinted his eyes slightly. Without changing his expression, he activated his spirit sense and scanned through the storage pouch in his hand. There were indeed 2 billion Dao crystals in the storage pouch. One had to admit that Han Tianjun was very tempted. He was lacking an item to make a breakthrough. However, that item was too precious. If he had these 2 billion Dao crystals, he was confident that he could buy that item and advance his cultivation base to the mid-human profound realm. The 2 people that Heavenly Lord needs to kill are currently in the ancient star region. One of them is Daoist Qianqiu and the other is a white-haired female cultivator who is traveling with him. Daoist Qianqiu? Is there such a person among the Eastern Heaven Fate immortals? Han Tianjun was slightly surprised. In his subconscious mind, a person who was worth 2 billion Dao crystals was at least a mortal profound life immortal. However, in his impression, there was no Daoist Qianqiu among the Eastern Heaven Fate immortals. Heavenly Lord, that Daoist Qianqiu is not a life immortal, but a void fragmentation realm cultivator. He is a devil with a bounty of 30 million Dao crystals. A rogue immortal bandit secretly transmitted his voice to Han Tianjun. Just a void fragmentation realm devil with a bounty of 30 million Dao crystals? Han Tianjun was startled at first. Then he sneered disdainfully and said to the 7 rogue immortals, "All right. This old man will agree to it. These 2 people will certainly die in the ancient star region within 3 days. Does the sect master of your sect need the heads of these 2 people? If you need, no need. Just do it cleanly. Farewell." The 7 rogue immortals cupped their fists indifferently and left. Looking at the backs of the 7 people leaving, Han Tianjuan's eyes flashed with cold light, and he snorted coldly. Humph! Hiding the head but showing the tail. With Han Tianjuan's eyesight, he had already noticed that the 7 rogue immortals were just puppets. They were not real living people. This time, the one who asked him to kill them was most likely a life immortal puppet master, who did not want to reveal his true identity. That was why he sent his puppets. After all, Han Tianjun was an old monster who had been a bandit for countless years. How could he not see that the one who wanted to kill Daoist Qianqiu was not the mysterious sword sect, but someone else? As for who it was, he did not care. He also did not care why the other party wanted to kill Daoist Qianqiu. It was enough for him to get rid of a disaster after receiving money from others. Qin Hu, I will give you half a day to find out the whereabouts of Daoist Qianqiu and the white-haired female cultivator. At that time, this old man will personally take action and exterminate these 2 people. Yes. Han Tianjun gave the order. A silver-armored man beside him immediately left in a hurry to find out the whereabouts of Daoist Qianqiu. After only 2 hours, the silver-armored man returned to the main hall. His expression was extremely strange and his body was trembling slightly. He looked at Han Tianjun as if he wanted to say something. You found out the whereabouts of Daoist Qianqiu so quickly? Han Tianjun was slightly surprised. No. Daoist Qianqiu came to me himself. At this moment, he is outside the Empty Soul Mountain. The white-haired female is also beside him. Oh, interesting. I was just about to kill him, and he actually came to me himself. Good. Han Tianjun was overjoyed. Suddenly, he thought of something and asked again. Why did this person come to my Empty Soul Mountain? Heaven Lord, he came here to ask for the spiritual plant scripture. He said that he will only give you 10 breaths of time before you hand over the scripture. Oh? A mere void fragmentation realm, ant dares to come to my Empty Soul Mountain, threaten me and rob my things? Han Tianjun seemed to have heard something unbelievable. After a while he burst into laughter. I have cultivated for 300,000 years. I have seen countless arrogant people. However, it is my first time seeing someone as arrogant as this young man. A mere void fragmentation realm junior, with a bounty of 30 million gold coins actually dares to come to my empty soul mountain and threaten me. Interesting. Really interesting. I must kill this young man. Han Tianjuan's eyes suddenly turned gloomy. He stood up abruptly and was about to leave the hall to kill Ning Fan. However, he was stopped by the silver-armored man who looked pale. Heaven Lord, this man must not be touched. The spiritual plant scripture must be given to him. What do you mean? Why can't I touch this man? Han Tianjun felt uneasy for no reason. Because the silver-armored man who used to kill people like scything flax was actually trembling in fear at the moment. He could not utter a complete sentence while stammering. At this moment, a cold laughter filled with immense baleful chi spread across the entire Empty Soul Mountain in an instant. Humph! Empty Soul Mountain. I have given you 10 breaths of time to hand over the spiritual plant scripture. Now that 10 breaths of time has passed, you still refuse to hand it over. Are you trying to force me to massacre the entire Empty Soul Mountain? That voice was extremely domineering. The strength of that voice was unquestionable. That voice carried boundless baleful chi. After that cold harumph, the physical bodies of countless void refinement realm experts and low-level void fragmentation realm experts exploded into blood mist and died. Miserable shrieks resounded across the entire Empty Soul Mountain in an instant. That cold harumph entered Han Tianjuan's ears. He felt an intense pain as if his sea of consciousness was being shattered. All of a sudden, he coughed out blood incessantly. His face turned pale and he was barely breathing. Without wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, he flew out of the main hall without hesitation and flew to the peak of the Empty Soul Mountain. His eyes were filled with deep fear as he stared at the ghost-faced expert who was standing on a blood-red lotus. Pavilion Lord, please calm down. Pavilion Lord, please calm down. I will send someone to get the spiritual plant scripture. Right now. Someone, quickly bring the spiritual plant scripture from the treasure vault and send it to the Pavilion Lord. No mistakes are allowed. Han Tianjuan's expression was extremely flustered. His heart was filled with fear. He had never expected that the ghost-faced Pavilion Lord, who was in charge of the immortal soul planet, would actually come to Heavenchin planet. Why did he come here? Wait a minute. He came together with these two people. Han Tianjun stared at Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan who were sitting on the lotus with his mouth agape. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Aren't these two people the cultivators of the mysterious sword sect asked him to kill? I'm not in a good mood right now. It's because I accidentally heard a piece of news outside your Empty Soul Mountain just now. I heard that you've been entrusted by someone to kill my friend. Wu Chen's cold voice entered Han Tianjuan's ears, causing him to almost fall to the ground in fear. Friend? How is this possible? The person he wants to kill is actually the friend of this ghost-faced Pavilion Lord. How dare he kill the friend of this ghost-faced Pavilion Lord? He had witnessed Wu Chen's terror with his own eyes. Wu Chen had been in charge of the ancient star region for tens of thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years ago, the overlord of the ancient star region was not the 10 heavenly monarchs of today. Instead, it was a true immortal realm bandit cultivator at the True Crossing realm. That bandit cultivator had a total of 47 life immortal realm subordinates. However, on the day when Wu Chen arrived at the ancient star region, he killed that true immortal realm bandit cultivators all by himself. On that day, blood flowed like a river in the ancient star region. The number of bandit cultivators who died was at least 100 million. Since then, Wu Chen had been in charge of the immortal soul planet, and the entire ancient star region had been obedient for tens of thousands of years. Putting aside the fact that Wu Chen was a member of the Slaughter Palace, the Slaughter Pavilion Lord and a ghost-faced assassin, his brutal battle record alone was enough to make all the bandit cultivators in the ancient star region tremble in fear upon hearing his name. If Han Tianjun had known that Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan were Wu Chen's friends, he would not have dared to accept this mission even if they gave him 20 billion Dao crystals. This time he had poked a huge hole in the basket, You are a descendant of the soul race. You should have a natal soul jade, right? Wu Chen said coldly. I'm willing to give you my natal soul jade in exchange for your life. Hun Tianjun let out a long sigh. He gritted his teeth and suddenly patted the top of his head, opening the top of his skull. His primordial spirit immediately flew out from the top of his skull. His primordial spirit glowed with a strange soul light. It was almost transparent. In the small primordial spirit's hand was a purple jade pendant. He gritted his teeth and changed his hand seal. The purple jade pendant immediately separated from his primordial spirit. All of a sudden, Hun Tianjuan's primordial spirit withered and his cultivation base began to decline. Originally, his cultivation base was already very close to breaking through to the mid-human profound realm. Now, however, his cultivation base was falling rapidly and was on the verge of falling to the early human profound realm. He was just a step away from falling to the void fragmentation realm. Removing the soul jade from his primordial spirit would definitely cause him great harm. However, in order to save his life, he naturally acted decisively. He would not destroy his own path of survival just for a piece of soul jade. After withdrawing his primordial spirit back into his body, Hun Tianjun respectfully handed the soul jade to Wu Chen. Wu Chen looked at the soul jade in his hand and nodded his head in satisfaction. I need to find an opportunity to help my sister-in-law refine this jade. Even though it can't extend her lifespan, it can slightly restore the power of her medicine soul. At least, she won't be as weak as she is now. It's a pity that the soul race has already been annihilated. Otherwise, if I have thousands of natal immortal soul jades, it would be possible to extend my sister-in-law's lifespan. As soon as Ning Fan received the soul jade, his palm instantly froze into ice. This soul jade was so cold. However, it contained an immeasurable soul power which could nourish a cultivator's medicine soul. With a thought, a trace of black devil flame rose from the center of his palm. With a slight turn, the ice gradually melted. After thinking for a while, Ning Fan temporarily sealed this soul jade in a jade box. This item could indeed help Ouyang Nuan recover her soul power. However, now was not the right time to refine this jade. Seeing that Wu Chen's anger subsided a little after receiving the soul jade, Hun Tianjun could not help but secretly let out a sigh of relief. It seemed like Wu Chen would not massacre Tianchen Star anymore after receiving the soul jade. Not long after, a bandit of the 8 Broken Realm flew to Wu Chen while trembling with fear and trepidation. He cupped his fists and presented the book to Wu Chen. This book was none other than the spiritual plant scripture. It recorded the secret technique of growing immortal soul herbs. Wu Chen flipped through the pages of the spiritual plant scripture and found that there were no mistakes in it. Then he passed it to Ning Fan and kept it properly. After that, he looked at the southeast direction of Tianchen Star with slight disdain and said with a cold gaze, Brother Ning, the one who wants to kill you and your sister-in-law is a natal immortal realm puppet master, who has just broken through to the early human profound realm. He has quite a number of powerful rogue immortal realm puppets with him. However, he doesn't have any natal immortal realm puppets. Do you need my help to eliminate him? No need. If he is just a puppet master who has just become an immortal realm puppet master, I don't think he will be a match for me. Ning Fan shook his head. Wu Chen had already helped him enough. There was no need for him to trouble Wu Chen for things that he could do. Since that's the case, let's part ways on this star. Take this jade slip. It contains the detailed introduction of the disciple acceptance ceremony of the Slaughter Palace. In the first round of the disciple acceptance ceremony, you will need to hand in the slaughter badges. There are 3 types of badges. Forget it. When you have time, read through this jade slip. You should understand it. There are countless badges that you can collect along the way to the Blood Sea Star region. I don't think you will be lonely. Wu Chen passed a blood-red jade slip to Ning Fan and let out a long sigh. Brother Ning, this is all I can do to help you. Whether you can successfully join the Slaughter Palace and obtain the longevity jade or not, it all depends on your own ability. Be careful along the way. As soon as he finished speaking, Wu Chen cupped his fists at Ning Fan solemnly. Farewell. Ning Fan also cupped his fists at Wu Chen. Then he turned around and stared coldly at the southeast direction of the heavenly star. He took out the ancient golden sword and left with Ouyang Nuan without turning back. If he had enough time, he would not mind staying in the ancient star region to have another drink and discuss the Tao with Wu Chun. Unfortunately, there was not much time left for him. He must reach the Blood Sea Star region within 10 years. Before heading to the Blood Sea Star region, there was still an early Profound Realm puppet master that he needed to kill. That person did not have any life immortal puppets with him. Ningfan was not afraid no matter how many rogue immortal puppets he has. Currently, Ningfan's cultivation base was already at the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. If he uses baleful qi to subdue the devil and control the devil sense, he would be able to fight against an early Profound Realm expert. Ningfan, be careful. Ouyang Nuan said worriedly. Don't worry. Ningfan formed a hand seal with all 10 of his fingers and displayed the heaven-peering rain technique. He did not display this technique to its limit. Instead, he just extended his spirit sense to a distance of 1 billion li through the rain curtain. This distance was far beyond the range of the spirit sense of an early Profound Realm life immortal. Ningfan would discover the other party's existence before they discover him. All of a sudden, Ningfan's eyes turned cold. He sent a telepathic message to Ouyang Nuan and sent her and the little furball into the Yuan Yao world temporarily. Then his eyes turned sharp. He stepped on a golden sword light and dashed towards a certain cave dwelling on an abandoned planet. Inside a cave on a barren mountain on the abandoned planet, 7 sword cultivator puppets were guarding the entrance of the cave. Inside the cave, an early Profound Realm life immortal who was dressed in green pill robes was sitting cross-legged on the ground. His 10 fingers were forming hand seals. White mist lingered above his head. One could vaguely see an illusory lead-colored lotus slowly taking shape. At the crucial moment, the lead-colored lotus shattered with a bang. I didn't expect this ancient divine ability that I found by chance to be so difficult to cultivate. What exactly am I missing? Why am I still unable to cultivate it? While the pill-robed life immortal was pondering, his eyes suddenly flashed with surprise. Who is it? Show yourself. As he was busy cultivating the secret technique, he did not notice that the enemy was already so close to the cave. Sure enough, it's someone from the pill sect again. A cold voice suddenly came from outside the cave. Chapter 7:16. As expected, it's someone from the pill sect again. A cold voice suddenly came from outside the cave. The one who spoke was a white-robed young man who was standing outside the cave coldly. The pill-robed life immortal was shocked at first when someone got so close to him. When he saw who it was, he sneered coldly. So it's you, little Qianqiu. I didn't expect that you would come to me to die instead of me coming to kill you. Die. The pill-robed life immortal stomped on the ground. An unimaginable destructive force immediately engulfed the entire abandoned planet. With a loud bang, the abandoned planet that was already on the verge of collapse was crushed by the pill-robed life immortal's stomp. The destructive force that was formed by that stomp rushed towards Ningfan's face, producing countless loud rumbling sounds. Ningfan's eyes remained unmoved. Faint black starlight surrounded his body. He allowed the destructive force to hit his body, but he did not dodge or evade it. Bang, bang, bang. The piercingly cold void storm quickly engulfed Ningfan's figure. You're just an ant. The pill-robed life immortal sneered and walked towards the center of the storm. From his point of view, Ningfan was just a void fragmentation realm ant. He definitely could not withstand the force of his stomp. According to the information he received, Ningfan had a small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure on him. Ouyang Nuan was probably still hiding inside the Cosmos treasure. The pill-robed life immortal was going to collect his spoils of war. After taking away Ningfan's small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure, he would release Ouyang Nuan and kill her. Soul extraction. A faint voice suddenly came from the void storm. Ningfan's body was bathed in black starlight. He walked out of the void storm step by step without any injuries. He raised his hand and extracted the void soul. As soon as he swallowed it, his chi rose rapidly. He was just a step away from reaching the early human profound realm. Unfortunately, it was the bottleneck of the immortal realm. No matter how powerful the soul extraction technique is, It could not help Ning Fan advance to the life immortal realm. As for the incarnation technique, he did not need to use it for the time being. Starlight healing technique. It's actually the legendary Black Starlight. The pill-robed life immortal was shocked at first. Then his eyes filled with greed and he licked his lips. Good. Good. Junior, if you hand over the cultivation method of the Black Star technique obediently, I can let you go. After I kill you, I can let your soul enter samsara again. Let my soul enter samsara again? Ning Fan was speechless. Did he still have the qualification to enter the samsara again? He had probably been abandoned by the samsara long ago. Ning Fan didn't know the cultivation method of the Black Star art. The reason why he could form his first life Black Star was due to a heaven-sent opportunity. He did not have a cultivation technique on hand. Even if Ning Fan possesses the Black Star cultivation method, he would not hand it over to the life immortal in the pill robes. He would never let this life immortal realm cultivator go. Of course, after this battle, Ning Fan would learn a lesson. He would no longer reveal the Black Star healing art in public. At most, he would hide the starlight inside his body to heal his wounds in order to avoid attracting the attention of other old monsters. I'll give you 3 breaths to consider. After 3 breaths, if you don't hand over the complete cultivation method of the Black Star art. Before the life immortal could finish his sneer, he suddenly revealed a furious expression. Ning Fan's figure flashed and disappeared from his original spot. At the next moment, he appeared behind the life immortal realm cultivator. A black golden longsword appeared in his hand out of nowhere, and he swung it at the latter's head. A strong sense of danger immediately rose in the life immortal realm cultivator's heart. His back was drenched in cold sweat. His body immediately turned into pill shadows and dispersed, dodging Ning Fan's sword attack by a hair's breadth. As soon as the sword slashed through the air, the boundless hollow space was split open by the black golden sword light with a chi sound. Under the layers of hollow space, it was an even deeper and serene void. The pill shadows condensed again. The life immortal realm cultivator was already 10,000 zhang away from Ning Fan. Looking at the layers of hollow space that were split open, his eyes were filled with astonishment. It's really a Dao soldier. At first, I didn't believe that a void fragmentation realm kid would have a Dao soldier. I didn't expect it to be true. Fortunately, this Dao soldier has yet to be refined and its power is still weak. Otherwise, even if I used the pill shadow incarnation technique, I wouldn't be able to avoid the destructive power of that sword attack. I would certainly die. It seems like I have underestimated this kid too much. No wonder Old Man Gu, Old Man Gao and the spy Wei Qi and the medicine sect would all die in his hands. The life immortal realm cultivator's eyes turned sharp. His hand seals suddenly changed and a vast aura force rose around his body. 7 puppets formation. As he gave the command, the eyes of the 7 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets, which were standing at the side blankly, suddenly glowed with green light. They rode on their flying swords and stood in 7 different directions, surrounding Ning Fan in the middle. Chi. The 7 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets performed hand seals at the same time. 7 flying swords hovered in 7 different directions, forming a sword formation. Countless rays of sword light immediately engulfed Ning Fan. Rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets, huh? Ning Fan did not even bother to look at the sword chi that pierced into his body. At this moment, his entire body was bathed in black starlight. None of the rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets could hurt him at all. Seeing that the 7 puppets could not hurt Ning Fan, the life immortal realm cultivator's eyes turned grim. He was a pill ancestor realm cultivator, but he was not a high-grade pill refinement master. Instead, he was a puppet master that was rarely seen in the Eastern Heaven. As a puppet master, he was proficient in the art of puppetry. However, his abilities were not very strong, and he did not have any powerful magic treasures to protect himself. The force of that stomp just now was almost his strongest offensive ability. However, it did not hurt Ning Fan at all. With his own abilities, it would be very difficult for him to kill Ning Fan. However, he had the rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets, which were also experts in puppet killing techniques. He was confident that he could easily kill Ning Fan with his puppet techniques. If 7 spiritual puppets were not enough, then he would take out more spiritual puppets to teach Ningfan a lesson. 100 puppets formation. He patted his storage pouch. Rays of green light suddenly flew out and turned into giant spiritual puppets which surrounded Ningfan. There were a total of 93 of them. The skin of the 7-sword cultivator spiritual puppets suddenly turned green, and their bodies enlarged. They abandoned their swords and turned into giants. Altogether, there were a total of 100 giant spiritual puppets which surrounded Ningfan. Each of the giant spiritual puppets had the cultivation base of a rogue immortal realm cultivator. In the void of space, 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets surrounded a cultivator. That scene was extremely shocking. The life immortal realm cultivator in a pill robe formed a puppet seal with his fingers and sneered at Ningfan, who was trapped in the middle of the spiritual puppets. Being besieged by 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets in a formation, even an ordinary early mortal profound realm cultivator would have no choice but to temporarily hide and not fight against the spiritual puppets. The life immortal realm cultivator in a pill robe indeed did not have strong abilities. However, with the help of the 100 puppets formation technique, his strength was not to be underestimated. 100 puppets formation, huh? These 100 spiritual puppets can be of some use in the Battle of the Slaughter Palace. Ningfan nodded his head in satisfaction. He did not seem to be aware that he was going to be besieged by the spiritual puppets. The 100 giant spiritual puppets formed hand seals with their fingers and condensed magic seals one after another. A sense of danger suddenly rose in Ningfan's heart. Ningfan raised his head abruptly. An extremely domineering black moon mark appeared in his left eye. His eyes were indifferent, as if he was going to look down on the common people. His chi was so cold that it felt like he was going to freeze the world. With just a single gaze, the 100 giant spiritual puppets stopped moving and froze on the spot. Then, a black moon mark appeared on the faces of all the spiritual puppets. That moon mark then went into the spiritual puppets' bodies. 100 puppets formation. Ningfan's eyes were cold. He held his sword in one hand and formed a puppet seal with his other hand. The 100 giant spiritual puppets turned into green light and disappeared. At the next moment, they suddenly turned around and surrounded the pill robe life immortal realm cultivator. Each of the spiritual puppets formed hand seals with their fingers and condensed magic seals. Then, they suddenly raised their hands and sent rays of green magic seals towards the terrified pill robe life immortal realm cultivator. The pill robe life immortal realm cultivator was shocked to find out that the 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets that he had spent tens of thousands of years to refine were all out of his control. They no longer belonged to him. Black moon. This is the morning death technique of the ancestral emperor of the northern heaven. Why do you know how to use it? Who exactly are you? The pill robe life immortal realm cultivator was terrified. His greatest reliance was these 100 rogue immortal realm spiritual puppets. Unfortunately, he encountered Ningfan, the black moon technique, and the morning death technique of the ancestral emperor of the northern heaven. In just a single encounter, all 100 of his spiritual puppets were taken away by Ningfan. Everyone in the 4 heavens knew that the ancestral emperor of the morning death technique was the ancestor of all spiritual puppets. No puppet master could defeat the morning death technique. Even if he were to face a mid-human profound life immortal realm cultivator, he would not be this terrified. However, when he faced Ningfan, who knew the morning death technique, he could not help but be shocked and panicked. It was because all of the puppet techniques that he had painstakingly cultivated in his entire life had gone to waste in front of Ningfan. His Tao of puppets had become nothing. The 100 spiritual puppets that were supposed to kill Ningfan had all turned against him in just a single encounter. As the former master of the spiritual puppets, the pill robe life immortal realm cultivator deeply understood how dangerous it was to be besieged by the spiritual puppets. I have to escape. His own abilities were too weak. He definitely could not face the attacks of the spiritual puppets head-on. Ancient Divine Tao, 3 Flowers Convergence. The pill robe life immortal realm cultivator gritted his teeth and formed hand seals with all 10 of his fingers, displaying a great secret technique that he had yet to truly master. He lifted his finger and pointed at the void space. All of a sudden, a lead-colored illusory lotus appeared in the void space. As soon as the illusory lotus appeared, it immediately turned into 1,000,000 lotus shadows, protecting him. The 100 spiritual puppets kept sending out green magic seals which bombarded the lotus shadows. However, they could not break through the lotus shadows' defense for a while. Ningfan's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. According to his estimation, the destructive power of the joint attack of the spiritual puppets was enough to shatter an ordinary immortal treasure and injure an ordinary life immortal realm cultivator. He did not know what kind of defensive ability that Pill Robe Life Immortal Realm Cultivator used. It was actually so powerful. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that the Pill Robe Life Immortal Realm Cultivator was far from mastering this technique. However, he could already rely on this technique to protect himself. If he succeeds in mastering this technique, perhaps even a mid or late human Profound Realm Life Immortal Realm Cultivator would not be able to hurt him. If little Yu Er is here, she would certainly know what this technique is. The defensive power of this technique is astonishing. However, it also consumes a lot of magic power. Let's see how long this person can last with this technique. Ningfan was still performing the puppet hand seals with one of his hands, controlling the spiritual puppets to attack the Pill Robe Life Immortal Realm Cultivator. Since he was controlling the spiritual puppets to fight, the consumption of his magic power was extremely small. As for the Pill Robe Life Immortal Realm Cultivator, he risked his life to cast the technique and used the lotus shadows to protect himself. Gradually, the Pill Robe Life Immortal Realm Cultivator's face began to turn pale. He did not have much magic power left. His eyes revealed a determined look. He suddenly changed his hand seal and self-destructed all of the lotus shadows, slightly pushing back the 100 Centipede's magical seal attack. After that, he suddenly slapped his storage pouch and withdrew an 8-revolution immortal pill that was coiled with green light. And he didn't say a word before swallowing it in one go. In the blink of an eye, a streak of azure light wrapped around him, and he instantly teleported several billion kilometers away. That pill had the effect of temporarily increasing one's speed, but its side effects were extremely great. After consuming it, every time he tried to escape, his cultivation would drop a little. If it wasn't for the sake of escaping, the Dan-robed life immortal would definitely not be willing to take this pill. You want to run? Ningfan's eyes flashed with disdain. With a flick of his sleeve, he kept the 100 stalks into his storage pouch. Then he stepped on black flames and flew 10 billion li away, appearing right in front of the Life Immortal Realm Cultivator's path like a ghost. The current Ningfan's magical power had increased by more than 3 times as compared to a month ago. With his current magic power, he would no longer exhaust his magic power after using the Black Demon Escape and the Steel Art of Sun and Moon. Impossible. What kind of escape technique is this? You can actually travel 10 billion li with just your Void Fragmentation Realm cultivation base. No, you're not a Void Fragmentation Realm expert. It's impossible for you to be a Void Fragmentation Realm expert. How can there be a Void Fragmentation Realm expert as powerful as you in the Eastern Heaven? The red-robed life immortal was terrified. His divine abilities could not hurt Ningfan in the slightest. His 100 centipede was snatched away by Ningfan. He had consumed a secret pill to escape, but his speed was actually so much slower than Ningfan's. He could not win, he could not fight, and he could not escape. His heart was filled with regret. He regretted accepting the sex mission to hunt down Ningfan's. It would have been better if he had rejected the mission at that time. Then he wouldn't have been forced by Ningfan's relentlessly. Run again. The pill-robed life immortal was already at his wit's end. After losing his spiritual puppets, he was just like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. 90% of his abilities were gone. He was no match for Ningfan at all. The only thing he could do was to keep damaging his cultivation base and keep running. If he was lucky, he might be able to escape. Do you still want to escape? Bingjia. Suddenly, Ningfan's eyes were filled with traces of ferocious devil intent. The black gold longsword in his hand suddenly shattered into sword light and slashed into his body. His physical body suddenly turned into a blood mist. The blood mist condensed again and turned into the body of a blood devil. His entire body was surrounded by blood-red sword light. He used the Bingjie style once again. However, this time, even though his eyes were bloodthirsty, there was still some clarity in them. He did not completely lose his mind. It was Wu Chen who helped him control the devil intent in his body by using baleful qi to suppress the devil intent. Even though Ning Fan's magic power had increased by a few times, he still could not use the black devil escape for many times. He could not let the pill-robed life immortal continue to run away. He needed to kill him with lightning speed. Bing. Bingjie style. Have you gone mad? Do you want to die together with me even if you want to commit suicide? The pill-robed life immortal's body was trembling. Just as he wanted to run away, he felt a sharp pain in his left arm. Then his body flew far away from his body. The blood devil that Ning Fan had transformed into appeared in front of him with ghostly speed. He raised his finger and a sword light cut off his left arm. Ah! The pill-robed life immortal let out a miserable cry. His expression was filled with terror. He endured the pain and reached into his storage pouch with his right hand, as if he was trying to find something that could save his life. At the next moment, his right arm was cut off by a blood-red sword light. His left leg, right leg, and finally his head. Qi rays of sword light ruthlessly slashed down. Eventually, the body of the pill-robed life immortal was cut into pieces, revealing the primordial spirit that was hidden inside his corpse. At this moment, the primordial spirit of the pill-robed life immortal was desperately trying to form hand seals with its tiny hands. However, due to its trembling, it could not form the correct hand seals. His primordial spirit had already been corroded by Ning Fan's Bingjie style. He could neither escape nor commit suicide even if he wanted to. His life was beyond his control, and his death was beyond his control. Ning Fan's body was surrounded by blood-red light. His cold eyes stared at the tiny primordial spirit of the pill-robed life immortal, and held it in his palm. All of a sudden, the pill-robed life immortal's fear rose to its peak. He spoke with extreme terror. "Why you can't kill me? I'm a foreign elder of the pill sect." Ah! Before he could finish his words, a blood-curdling scream resounded in his ears. Without any hesitation, Ning Fan directly performed the soul-searching technique on the life immortal of the pill sect. After a long time, Ning Fan swallowed the primordial spirit of the pill sect. His baleful qi increased tremendously. He did not have the intention to keep the primordial spirit for pill refinement. Now he just wanted to increase the baleful qi in his body, so that he could better control the devil sense. Today, when he displayed the Bingjie style to forcefully control the devil sense, the process was still somewhat imperfect. Given Ning Fan's personality, he only wanted to kill people cleanly and cleanly. He would not be so cruel as to turn the pill-robed life immortal into a human stick and then kill him. The devil sense was still slightly controlling Ning Fan's rationality. He still needed to have a stronger baleful qi in order to control the devil. After keeping the storage pouch of the pill-robed life immortal, Ning Fan only lingered on one of the items inside. It was a broken jade slip which recorded an incomplete technique. It was the ancient secret technique that the pill-robed life immortal displayed just now. The lost ancient secret technique. 3 flowers converging crown technique. Huh? The technique that this person possesses is just the cultivation method of the first flower. To cultivate this technique, one would need divine blood that is at the royal grade or above, a high level of comprehension, and consuming a large amount of 1 million years old spiritual herbs. I guess the reason why this person failed to cultivate this technique in the past was because the grade of his bloodline was too low. I can cultivate this technique a little. Ning Fan kept the broken jade slip and exited the Bingjie style. His face was slightly pale, but he did not suffer any serious injuries. Under the self-healing effect of the Black Star technique, some of his injuries were recovering rapidly. It was not difficult for Ning Fan to win the battle against the life immortal today. Firstly, it was because his cultivation base had skyrocketed, and he was able to control the devil sense with his baleful qi. Secondly, the opponent's puppet technique was severely restrained by Ning Fan. A puppet master who had lost his puppet technique would be too weak. No matter what, This pill-robed life immortal should be the first life immortal that Ning Fan killed with his own strength. With a flip of his hand, Ning Fan took out the ancient golden sword. He stood on the tip of the ancient sword in the silent starry sky, and remained silent for a long time. He had searched the life immortal's memory, and found out his identity. Besides that, he also found out some other things. For example, the pill sect had deliberately planned to deal with Ouyang Nuan because they wanted to kill her, and seize the 5-colored medicine soul power in her body. For example, Wei Qi was not the only person in the medicine sect who had been poisoned with the centrifugal pill. There were a few other traitors in the sect, but no one knew who they were. Those traitors of the medicine sect did not know that they had been tricked by the pill sect. From the memories of this life immortal realm pill ancestor realm life immortal, Ning Fan also learned about the entire process of the great battle 7 years ago. That day, the alchemy faction used the power of the centrifugal pill to control Wei Qi and bring him away from Shao's planet. They were waiting for Ouyang Nuan to save her, hoping that Ouyang Nuan would die in the hands of the unknown bandit cultivators on the way, so that they would be able to prove that they had nothing to do with this matter. Ouyang Nuan already had the intention to die. If it wasn't for Ning Fan, she might really embark on the path to the starry sky alone to search for Wei Qi. Because of Ning Fan's intervention, Ouyang Nuan finally found Wei Qi. Now that her identity as a life immortal realm pill ancestor was exposed, there was no way for her to clear her name. When Ning Fan forced a life immortal realm cultivator to death and dismembered himself to deal with the other life immortal realm cultivator, Wei Qi was controlled by the separation pill and lost his consciousness. He struck Ning Fan's abdomen and tore the seal of the devil sense inside his body. Thus, Ning Fan had completely turned into a devil. Caught off guard, Wei Qi was torn into pieces by Ning Fan. The tall life immortal realm cultivator was corroded by the devil sense in Ning Fan's body and was severely injured. Out of great shock, he was actually forced to retreat temporarily by Ning Fan and fled back to the pill sect. After the battle, Ning Fan was severely injured by the devil sense and his life was hanging by a thread. It was Ouyang Nuan who carried him all the way to the ancient star region. Along the way, she used the power of her 5-colored medicine soul to help him prolong his life and suppress his devil sense. According to the pill sect's intelligence, Qian Kaiyan, who was hiding in the ancient star sector, was the sect master of the herbal sect, Wei Wuxia. The reason why Ouyang Nuan brought Ning Fan to the ancient star region was just to beg her master to save him. Along the way, she had sacrificed her own life in order to extend Ning Fan's life. When they arrived at the ancient star region, she had already become a white-haired old woman. Ouyang Nuan knelt in front of the 100 Medicines sect and refused to save her. It had nothing to do with love. At that time, she probably just didn't want to owe him anything. Ning Fan looked at the vast starry sky with a complicated expression. No wonder Ouyang Nuan never told me the truth about what happened that day. She was afraid that I would feel grateful or guilty towards her after knowing the truth. Ning Fan lifted his finger and stroked the Yuan Yao jade. A bright light flashed and Ouyang Nuan looked at him worriedly while holding the small fur ball. Her 5-colored medicine soul was very powerful. Even when she was in the Yuan Yao world, she could still vaguely sense the situation of the battle. Are his injuries serious? Ouyang Nuan asked with concern. Her face was slightly pale. It's just a minor injury. This life immortal realm expert is very weak. Ning Fan smiled gently and held Ouyang Nuan's hand, injecting his magic power into her body. When he held her wrinkled little hand in his hand, he felt an indescribable warmth. Let's find a place to help you refine the soul jade first. Your body is still very weak and the soul jade is extremely cold. You need to find a cultivation planet with a strong fire vein, and use the heat of the earth vein to refine the soul jade. I'll listen to you. Ouyang Nuan did not have any objections. Ning Fan nodded and took out the blood-red jade slip that Wu Qin gave him. He scanned through it with his spirit sense and his eyes flashed. The slaughter badge, huh? On my way to the Blood Sea Star region, I will always encounter cultivation planets with strong fire veins. If I reach a mid-grade star region, I will need to go to the main star and obtain the slaughter badge from the slaughter pavilion. Chapter 717. In the alchemy sect's main hall, the sect master of Elixir sect, who had been in seclusion to comprehend the Tao of alchemy for a long time, flew into a rage the moment he came out of his stone chamber. The three pieces of news caused him to lose his rationality and his usual calmness. Firstly, the pill devil that he raised in the rain world had gone missing, and the loose immortal Changshan, who was responsible for bringing back the pill devil, had already perished in the ancient heavenly court decades ago. Secondly, the ghost-rearing formation that he had paid a huge price to set up in the ancient heavenly courts was actually destroyed by someone. Thirdly, before he went into closed-door cultivation, he had ordered his men to seize the opportunity to secretly kill the medicine sect's head disciple, Ouyang Nuan, and seize the power of her five-colored medicine soul. To think that Ouyang Nuan was still alive after so many years. Furthermore, the sect master of the medicine sect, Wei Wuxia, had found out about the pill sect's attempt to harm Ouyang Nuan. Now the medicine sect and the pill sect had truly shed all pretense of cordiality. Half a month ago, the sect master of the medicine sect suddenly returned to the sect, and found out about the life immortals of the medicine sect who had been plotted against by the centrifugal pill. After that, he paid a huge price to gather more than 10 Eastern Heaven true immortals to help him, and annihilate several subsidiary forces of the alchemy faction. Among those affiliated forces, there were even 2 perfected immortal forces. This time, Wei Wuxia was really angry. He didn't care about the harmless fight between the pill faction and the medicine faction, but he wouldn't allow anyone to hurt his disciple. The alchemy ancestor had touched his bottom line. A bunch of trash. The alchemy faction's sect master looked at the elders and disciples below furiously. A bunch of useless things. Now that the pill devil was gone, his 2 million years of waiting had lost all meaning. Now that the ghost nurturing array was destroyed and he no longer had those high-level sense beads, it would be extremely difficult for his spiritual force to break through to the next realm. The most troublesome thing was still Ouyang Nuan. Not only had he failed to obtain the 5-colored medicine soul, he had also brought trouble upon himself and completely shed all pretense of cordiality with the herbal sect. How could the alchemy sect's sect leader not know that the reason why Wei Wuxia didn't bring his men to attack the alchemy sect was to intimidate and threaten them? If the alchemy faction and alchemy faction fought with all their might, they would each summon countless true immortals. When the time came, blood would flow like a river. A single battle would last for dozens or even hundreds of years, and it might not necessarily be able to determine the victor. Even though Wei Wuxia hated the pill sect, he knew that the medicine sect did not have the power to completely destroy the pill sect. Now that Ouyang Nuan only had 20 years left to live, Wei Wuxia wanted to gamble one last time, and go to the true immortal impasse to look for the longevity jade. He had no intention of fighting the Dan Grandmaster to the death now. Destroying the alchemy sect's subsidiary forces was a form of intimidation. If the alchemy sect dared to continue attacking Ouyang Nuan within these 20 years, Wei Wuxia couldn't guarantee that he would do something crazy. Even if he had to perish together with the alchemy sect, he would make the alchemy sect regret it. Sect Master, please calm your anger. According to the plan, Ouyang Nuan was supposed to die in the Lesser Marsh Star region. The murderers would only be a few bandits and devil cultivators who are greedy for money. This plan was supposed to be flawless. However, a Void Fragmentation Realm Jr. just had to interfere and spoil our plan. He even exposed the killing intent of our pill sect towards Ouyang Nuan. A Gui Xian life immortal was full of hatred as he reported to the Dan sect's sect master, who had just come out of seclusion. What? The person who you said ruined the great plan of my pill sect is actually just a Void Fragmentation Realm Jr. Ha 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 ha. The alchemy faction sect master was so enraged that he laughed instead. I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect that there would actually be a Void Fragmentation Realm Jr. who would dare to ruin the good plans of my pill sect. Who is this person? The alchemy faction's sect leader's expression was extremely gloomy. His name is Qianqiuzi. He was born in the chaotic Devil Star region, a low-grade star region. He had once killed all the Star Lords of 7 cultivation planets in the star region. The 7 Fiend sect has set up a bounty of 30 million Dao crystals for him. The life immortal of the pill sect reported. Qianqiuzia? He. Inform all the people who tried to kill Ouyang Nuan to return to the sect. We can't kill Ouyang Nuan for now. Otherwise, it will completely enrage Wei Wuji. However, this Qianqiuzi, Guichun. Yes, sect leader. Send someone to the Seven Fiend sect and ask them to increase the bounty on Qianqiuzi to 1 billion Dao crystals. Remember, don't let outsiders know that this is done by our pill sect in case we get into trouble again. Yes, the Gui Xian life immortal who was called Gui Chen sneered. He understood what the sect leader meant. Now that they were in troubled times, the pill sect could no longer take action against Ouyang Nuan. Also, they could not personally come out to kill him. Who knew if Ning Fan was also Wei Wuji's reverse scale? They could just increase the bounty and kill him with a borrowed knife. The bounty of 1 billion Dao crystals was enough to move the mysterious life immortal of the pill sect. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Gui Chen returned to the main hall and respectfully cupped his fists at the sect leader of the pill sect. Sect leader, I have already sent someone to the Seven Fiend sect. I think the bounty on that Qianqiuzi will increase to 1 billion Dao crystals soon. I have already sent a notice to all the life immortals who were responsible for killing Ouyang Nuan to return. Only the guest elder, Elder Lu, could not be contacted at the moment. Currently, Elder Lu should be in the Ancient Star region. He is the life immortal who is closest to Ouyang Nuan. Lu Zong? That early profound realm puppet master? The sect leader of the pill sect muttered to himself. He had always thought highly of that puppet master. He had even given him a 9 revolutions death-chasing pill. Not good. Elder Lu's life plate is broken. Outside the main hall, 2 low-grade disciples suddenly rushed into the hall with a panicked look. Lu Zong is dead. The sect leader's eyes turned grim. He circulated the power of his medicine soul and calculated with his fingers. Lu Zong had consumed the death-chasing pill before. Even if the murderer's cultivation base was at the true immortal realm, he could still calculate the murderer's identity. After calculating, the sect leader's expression turned even darker. He was so angry that he laughed. Where is your subject? After that, he sent someone to Seven Fiend sect and told them that Qianqiu's bounty had been raised to 10 billion. I don't need to do it myself. I want this kid to die under the pursuit of the immortals. What? 10 billion? Gui Chen's eyes widened in shock, but he did not dare to say anything more. He hurriedly left the great hall, once again ordering people to head to the Seven Fiend sect. The reward of 10 billion was enough for Ning Fan to face the true immortal tribulation. It seemed like the sect master really hated this Qianqiu to the core. If he didn't let this kid die in the hands of the immortals, the hatred in his heart wouldn't be appeased. After the bounty was raised to 10 billion, perhaps it wouldn't be long before Qianqiuzi's name would spread throughout the entire eastern sky. After that, it was an endless pursuit. The process of the Slaughter Palace's disciple recruitment ceremony was different every time. In this year's disciple recruitment ceremony, the key item in the first round of assessment was the slaughter badge. In the first round of assessment, the participating cultivators had to hand over all their slaughter badges, and the results would be recorded according to the number of badges they had. Cultivators ranked in the top 1,000 would be able to pass the first round. The rest of the participants would be eliminated. There were 3 types of slaughter badges. A bronze badge cost 5 points. It could be purchased directly from the Slaughter Palace and cost 10 million Dao crystals. A silver badge cost 50 points. It couldn't be purchased from the Slaughter Palace. It could only be obtained from the Slaughter Pavilion in the main star of a mid-grade star region. The way to obtain it was to challenge the Pavilion Master. If you win, you would get a Slaughter Badge. A gold badge costs 1,000 points. You had to challenge the Pavilion Master of the Slaughter Pavilion in a high-grade star region. If you win, you would get a gold badge. Other than the bronze badge, the other 2 types of badges were not allowed to be obtained with the help of any outsiders. Demon pets and puppets were the exceptions. Each cultivator could only obtain a badge from a Slaughter Pavilion once. The badges obtained by one's strength could be sold to other cultivators. If other cultivators obtained the badges, they could kill them and seize their badges. The rules of this year's disciple recruitment ceremony had just been announced 1 or 2 years ago. Many cultivators who wanted to participate were busy challenging the pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion and collecting badges. No one challenged the gold badges. After all, the pavilion master of the high-grade slaughter pavilion was at least at the peak ghost profound realm. Which cultivator with a skeletal age below 30,000 years could defeat such an old monster? Those who could challenge the silver badges were already considered strong. The pavilion masters of the mid-grade slaughter pavilion were at least at the rogue immortal realm. Occasionally, some of them were at the mysterious life immortal realm. Ningfan calculated that he would pass through more than 200 mid-grade star regions along the way. If he challenges the pavilion masters of the mid-grade star regions along the way, he should be able to obtain a lot of silver badges. It shouldn't be difficult to pass the first round of the competition. He opened the star door again and crossed the star regions. After passing through a few low-grade star regions, the first mid-grade star region came into his sight. Nguyen Air, do you know which star region this is? Ningfan was just hurrying along the direction of the Emperor star disk. Without the star disk of this star region, he naturally had no idea where this place was. Little furball, it seems like your father has no sense of direction. This star region is close to the ancient star region. There are many fire veins on the cultivation planets. He can easily guess that this is the purple flame star region, but he actually doesn't know about it. Ouyang Nguyen was playing with the little furball. She was in a good mood. I don't know much about the star regions near the ancient star region. Ningfan shook his head speechlessly. Then his gaze swept across the few cultivation planets nearby. Seeing that the cultivation planets here were indeed filled with fire veins, a thought flashed through his mind. I wonder where the main star of the purple flame star region is. I think the fire veins on the main star of the purple flame star region must be excellent and suitable for refining soul jades. If I want to go to the main star, I need to get an astrolabe first. As soon as Ningfan finished speaking, he turned the ancient sword into a ray of golden sword light and carried Ouyang Nguyen straight towards a low-grade cultivation planet nearby. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Ningfan returned from that low-grade cultivation planet. He borrowed a purple flame astrolabe from the star lord of that planet and went straight to the purple flame star. The purple flame star was a mid-grade cultivation planet. It was not a large-scale trading planet. The number of life immortals on it was also not as many as the number of life immortals on the purple flame star. Looking at the appearance of this star, there seemed to be some traces of damage on it, and the traces were very fresh. Ningfan was speechless. Could it be that these traces of damage were caused by Wu Chun? Since Wu Chun had gone to a few star regions nearby, he probably came to the purple flame star region as well. Before entering the star, Ningfan first used the rain technique to sense the number of life immortals on this star. There were only 2 life immortals guarding the purple flame star. Both of them were at the early human profound realm. With Ningfan's current cultivation base, he was no longer as fearful as before when he encounters early human profound realm life immortals again. Outside the purple flame star, a group of void refinement realm cultivators who were in charge of patrolling immediately spread their spirit sense to check when they saw Ningfan's sword light flying towards them. After noticing that Ningfan was a peak level 9 break realm cultivator, their attitude became extremely respectful. The 2 life immortal star lords had instructed them to treat cultivators at Ningfan's level with courtesy if they encounter them. We, the cultivators of the purple flame star, greet Senior. May I know where Senior is heading to? We are willing to lead the way for Senior. It's all right. I know the way. Ningfan's tone was indifferent. As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped on the ancient sword and headed straight for the star. Before entering the star, he had already used the heaven-peering rain technique to observe the surroundings of this star. How could he not know the way? The patrolling cultivators cupped their fists and lowered their heads, sending Ningfan off with their eyes. On the purple flame star, the best place to have fire veins was the star capital. Both of the life immortals were guarding the star capital. Both of them were fire cultivators. The slaughter pavilion was also located in the star capital. Outside the purple flame city, Ningfan kept his ancient sword and gently held Ouyang Nguyen's waist. Then he leaped and landed on the ground. As soon as they arrived at the city, a group of cultivators immediately came out of the city gate to welcome them. The reason why they treated Ning Fan with such courtesy was because Ning Fan was a peak level 9 Break Realm cultivator. On this purple flame star, excluding the 2 life immortals, the strongest experts were people like Ning Fan. At the same time, when the group of cultivators came out of the city gate to welcome Ning Fan, 2 extremely obscure spirit senses lightly scanned Ning Fan's body. The owners of these 2 spirit senses were naturally the 2 life immortal star lords of the purple flame star. Their spirit senses were slightly weak and seemed to be slightly injured. After the spirit sense scanned Ning Fan, it immediately withdrew and did not stay on him for a long time. Seeing that Ning Fan was not a life immortal who was hiding his cultivation base, the 2 of them naturally would not pay too much attention to him. Even though the 2 life immortal star lords would not pay attention to Ning Fan, 3 rogue immortal old men flashed and went out of the city gate to welcome him. They cupped their fists and greeted Ning Fan politely. "Fellow Taoist, I have never seen you before. May I know how to address you?" Among the 3 of them, an old man in white robes asked with a smile. "My Dao name is Qianqiu." Ning Fan did not have the intention to hide his identity. After all, as long as these 3 rogue immortals investigate him, they would find out that he was a bounty devil. Old ancestor Qianqiu, who is offering a bounty of 30 million gold coins. The expressions of the 3 old men changed slightly. They were in charge of the Purple Flame City. Naturally, they had heard about some of the more notorious bounty devils. This time, when the 2 obscure life immortal star lord spirit senses scanned Ning Fan's body again, they carried a hint of fear and a desire to please him. The expressions of the 3 old men only changed for an instant. Then, they regained their composure and smiled awkwardly at Ning Fan. "So fellow Taoist is old ancestor Qianqiu. This is the first time I've heard of fellow Taoist's name, so I lost my composure a little. May I know what is your relationship with the ghost-faced pavilion master of the ancient star region?" "Friend." Ning Fan's mind raced and he seemed to have understood something. When Wuxia came to this place to rob things, he must have mentioned me. Otherwise, the rogue immortals and the life immortal star lords would not turn pale at the mention of my name. Chi 2 life immortal star lords hurriedly flew out of the city. They did not have the time to recuperate and directly appeared outside the city gate. The 2 of them landed on the ground and turned into an old man in red robes and an old woman in purple robes. Both of them were at the early human profound realm. At this moment, their expressions were extremely complicated. They squeezed out a smile awkwardly. Even though their cultivation levels were higher than Ning Fan's, they still cupped their fists and greeted him politely. It seems like little friend is the friend that the pavilion master mentioned before. That ghost-faced pavilion master came here some time ago and purchased some jade slips for the Stargate. He also told us to take good care of Taoist Qianqiu if he passes by this star in the future. Otherwise, cough cough. Needless to say, these 2 life immortal realm experts had been severely threatened by Wuxia. Thus, they would not dare to show any disrespect towards Ning Fan. "Don't worry, seniors. I will only stay on the Violet Fire Star for a few days before leaving. I won't cause any trouble here. Seniors, your injuries haven't healed yet, so it's better for you to go back and recuperate first. I'll just stroll around the Purple Fire City." Ning Fan cupped his fists towards the 2 Fate Immortals and the 3 Rogue Immortals. Then he pulled Ouyang Nuan and entered the Purple Flame City. Seeing that Ning Fan was much friendlier than Wuxia, and was not someone who was difficult to serve, the 2 life immortals heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed like Ning Fan wasn't here to look for trouble. That was good. The 2 of them secretly ordered all the shops in the city not to neglect Ning Fan if they encounter him. They had to treat him well. Ouyang Nuan was in a very good mood when her hand was held by Ning Fan. She even hummed a song softly. However, when Ouyang Nuan realized that Ning Fan had brought her to a hot spring palace, she could not help but blush. Why did you bring me here?" This was a place where many cultivators and Dao companions were deeply in love. Didn't you see how many Dao companions were bathing together in this place? This is the strongest place in the Purple Fire Star. The fire elemental power in the hot spring here is extremely strong. If I refine the soul jade in this place, I'm sure I'll get twice the result with half the effort. Are you sure that you came here to help me refine the soul jade and not to take advantage of me? Ouyang looked at Ningfan with uncertainty. I promise I won't take advantage of you. Do you want to come in and take a bath? Ningfan teased. I think I won't go in. You can go by yourself. Ouyang avoided his eyes and turned around, trying to escape. However, Ningfan grabbed her wrist and pulled her inside. I want the hot spring pavilion that has the best fire vein in this place. Ningfan casually took out 10,000 Dao crystals and handed them to the manager of the hot spring palace. The manager was a divine transformation realm cultivator. As soon as he saw the appearance of the newcomer, his eyes widened in shock. He immediately stepped forward and said respectfully, I don't need so many Dao crystals. Even the hot spring pavilion that has the best fire vein only needs 1,000 Dao crystals a day. Then I'll pay for 10 days first. Ningfan did not know how many days he would need to refine the soul jade. Very soon, a delicate maid walked out. She led Ningfan and Ouyang into the number 1 hot spring pavilion. The manager of the hot spring palace pondered for a moment. Then he called 6 to 7 of the most beautiful maids and instructed them in a low voice. Tonight, all of you will go and serve that senior. Remember, you must make him feel comfortable. You must never offend him. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.